An invitation to something unforgettable.
I won.
Win up to $4 million with Carolina Black Premier from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it.
That one back, that one going, gone!
Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday heating up. Highs today low to mid-90s with isolated afternoon downpours. A WRAL weather alert day due to the potential for flooding, especially heading into the night. Overnight temperatures in the 70s with rain gradually weakening. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up only 74 points at 44,445.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws, end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown, Bailey, his 3rd of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits!
Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Adam Gold Show was earlier today. Now, I'm sticking around for what I consider the real show. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Graham Hill producing the show today. What's going on, Graham?
Your musical chairs of producers just continues to go around and around.
Well, it lands on Graham Hill today, and we're excited for it. And also, we're going to encourage all of you to jump on the show today. We will have a Monday sound off, about 4:15 we'll call it. So in the 4 o'clock hour, Monday sound off, we open up the phone lines. We'll give you the phone number and everything at that time. But we're talking rivalries today. So we're going to ask you for the best individual rivalries of all time. I say individual because we're not looking for teams. We know that Duke Carolina is a rivalry. We know Boston, the Red Sox Yankees is a rivalry. We're looking for the best individuals. They could be members of those teams, but it's got to be mano a mano, one-on-one. we'll have that conversation in the 4:15-ish time period. Right now, though, we're going to start with the inspiration for that question in the Big Three at 3. And the Big Three gets it rolling with number 1.
Number 1.
Where have all the rivalries gone? Where's all the athletic distaste, the athletic hate, right? I'm not talking about, you're going to do something personally off the field, but where have the good, old-fashioned, I don't like you and I want to beat you rivalries gone? I know that it's still within the fans, don't get me wrong, right? It's still there. So fans, if you're a fan of this team, you're a fan of that team, you're going to yell things at each other. That's still there. But I think I blinked and they disappeared when it comes to the really, really good one-on-one rivalries. And I noticed because Wimbledon happens, right? Talking tennis. And every sport that is not basically the NFL right now, right? Every sport that's not the big bad bullies of popularity is craving their, polar opposites of great players to raise their league. Right, you're seeing it with the WNBA. They're trying to turn Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese into their Magic and Bird. It's going to save everything. And tennis is doing the same, right? Jannik Sinner, Carlos Alcaraz meeting the Wimbledon final after meeting in the French Open final, and all this happens, and Sinner wins, and as soon as it happens, everybody. This is the next rivalry. It is Agassi-Sampras. It is Federer-Nadal. It is the next thing that's going to draw in the casual fans. Let's go. And I'm going like, well, have they done anything to make it interesting? They're very good players. Greatness. Don't get me wrong. Great. Between them, what is it? It's like 9 or 8 Grand Slams, right? They both have 3 of the 4 of the career Grand Slam. Like, great players. They're 23, 22 years old. Great players. But that's not all a rivalry makes. Like, you need to do more than just be great at the same time. The greatest rivalries that we remember individually, there's a little distaste. You might say hate. There's at least a personal bitterness.
A bloody nose here and there.
A bloody nose, a hard foul, a quip made in the media, like something.
A stare down, too.
A stare down. And not, I don't want to say, like, there's a respect, but it's not like an outward respect. You know what I mean? It's not like, let's hear from Carlos Alcaraz after losing in the Wimbledon final to Jannik Sinner, who is supposed to be this big bad rival of Alcaraz that is competing for the mantle of the best right now. And here's Alcaraz.
It's always bad feeling, losing matches. I think it's a little bit even worse when you lose in a final. But overall, I'm just really proud about everything I've done. The last 4 weeks on grass here in London, I just leave Wimbledon. I just left the court with the head really, really high because that I just did everything that I could today. I played against someone who played an unbelievable game. So just a little bit sad about losing, but with the head really high.
Well, that's boring.
I can't see Tiger talking that way about Phil after a loss. I can't see, after they broke up with the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe talking about each other like that. I can't see the great rivalries happening. Like even, Brady might say it about Manning, but he'd say it with a little stank on it, right? So you knew he didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm worried that those don't exist because that's part of the cool part of sports is like I can dislike somebody. It's a one part you can't really dislike people in life, right? You can't at least act on it. There's nothing you can hate a coworker, but guess what? You're working for the same company. Your sales are all going towards the same pot, right? Like you're trying to move things in the same direction. You have opponents in sports. Last point here. We're going to talk about this throughout the show. Again, we're going to open up the phone lines for it. I looked up biggest current individual rivals. Look for a list, right? Maybe I'm missing one. They came up with like Crosby, Ovechkin. They came up with LeBron, Steph. And I'm going, they're great at the same time, but they might be friends.
Not even Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Does that crack it?
They're friends, and also Josh Allen would have to beat Pat Mahomes, and there's really, I don't think, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, people are trying to turn it into one. Sinner Alcaraz, people are trying to turn it into one. I don't know if there's much else out there.
John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. What are we doing, people?
I'm sorry.
SummerSlam's right.
I said sports. I'm sorry that I did not include that.
What about Conor McGregor?
What about Superman, Batman? What about
Conor
that one?
McGregor, Khabib?
Maybe, but is McGregor even fighting anymore?
Forgetting the current part.
Exactly. It's got to be right. Like, by the way,
I'm spewing
Ali
out.
Frazier. Like, we could list a whole bunch, and we will later on, but it does feel like we're missing. Quickly, that's number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
Cooper Flagg, Dunzo in Summer League. He 2 games and Dunzo with the Dallas Mavericks. Let's hear from Bobby Marks, ESPN, former NBA executive, on what he saw from Cooper Flagg in Game 2.
He was more comfortable than Game 1. I thought, Dallas made a priority in Game 1 to kind of put the ball in his hands a little bit more and try him out at point guard. I think he shifted a little bit to play off the ball. When he's going downhill, like we saw a bunch today, he's, pretty dangerous here, and he had a shot going. And, overall he had 3 points in the first quarter and 28 in quarters 2 to 4. And I just felt like he got more comfortable. I think one of the weaknesses or one of the question marks is the ability to go left. And I thought he made a priority all game to try to do that and see where it kind of took him here.
I don't think they changed a ton between Game 1 and Game 2. It was just game flow. But and I watched both. The one surprise I have for how the Mavericks treated Cooper Flagg is I think it was obvious, and he said as much in the post-game interviews. I think it was obvious they want him, or at least wanted him in Summer League, to be a primary big-time scorer.
Yeah.
They wanted him to shoot a lot. And that was like the directive he was given. Be aggressive. Get your shot up, right? Work on your creation, your ISO. And I just don't think that's how he's going to make his way in the NBA originally. If he's going to be a 25, 27, 30-point scorer one day, I think it's going to be one day, right? It's going to be years into the future.
It's got to come natural for him.
I think early on, he can be a creator. He can be a playmaker for his teammates. He can be a great defensive player. He can be a lot of things. And he can score, like, don't get me wrong. But I just don't know if you want him to be the greedy, get-after-it guy. And that's very obviously what they asked him to do in Summer League. He had 21 shots exactly in Games 1 and Games 2 of the Summer League. There's only – and Summer League games are 8 minutes shorter than real NBA games. There's only one player in the NBA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that averaged more than 21 shots per game in the NBA. He had 21 in each game, so he averaged 21. That's absurd for a guy whose maybe best thing is not forcing shots and letting the game come to him. So we'll see if that carries over. It's just Summer League. That's number 2. Let's wrap it up with number 3.
Number 3.
Jacob Miserowski to the All-Star game has baseball all hot and bothered. The Miz pitches for the Brewers. 5 starts. Starting pitcher got selected as a fill-in for the All-Star game. 5 starts. Paul Skeens last year set the record for fewest amount of starts for a player chosen to the All-Star game with 11. Now Miserowski breaks that record with 5. Now here's the problem. He is entertaining. He's thrown 25 and 2/3 innings in his career, but he has 89 pitches over 100 miles an hour. He is a phenom. He is really fun to watch. He is not nearly done enough to earn an All-Star appearance. He is going to be good for ratings. He is going to be good for potentially turning young kids that watch the All-Star game into new fans. But he took a deserving spot away from someone else. And there is a pro and con to that is very difficult to break down. Right? The pros are, it's got to be a business decision. You need fans. You need to be entertaining. You need ratings up. Right? Media partners want people watching. The cons are All-Star games matter. Right? For the rest of his life, he'll be introduced as an all-star pitcher, and there might be someone else that was more deserving that was snubbed that doesn't get that benefit, right? He will not be introduced as an all-star pitcher for the rest of his life because you went with somebody less deserving. I lean on, if it's going to matter, you have to make it matter. And what I mean by that is if We're going to list All-Star appearances when we're talking about who should and shouldn't make the Hall of Fame. If there are incentives and contracts that say if you make the All-Star game, you get X amount of dollars, then you have to go off merit, not off of entertainment ability. If you remove all of that, I actually think there should be a list. Here's the thing. At the All-Star break, you put out a list of these were the best players of the first half. And those players are the ones that counts for like Hall of Fame candidacy. That counts for contract incentives. And then you put out another list and say, these are the players we've selected to play in the All-Star game. And then you can have, the biggest names, the flashiest players, the ones that are going to bring in the most fans, and they can have fun. But if you're going to have both of those be the same, if the roster is supposed to be the best players, can't have guys that made 5 starts in the All-Star game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the big 3 at 3. When we return, there's a hidden part of the Keandre Miller trade for the Carolina Hurricanes that I thought was assumed would be no problem at all, but some people have a problem. What's their problem? Find out next.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, 0 interest?
12 months, 0 interest, 0 payments for 12 months.
0 payments and 0 interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
44 shot by Miller. He scores! Keandre Miller, first defenseman in Rangers history to record 4 points in a single period. Wow.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, so here's the deal. The Carolina Hurricanes traded for Keandre Miller. Remember how that went? Remember how everybody was excited about it? Remember how some people thought he was, and when I say some people thought he was, I mean like Ranger fans thought he was soft of some kind, but then Canes fans all came to their defense. There was a player included in the trade that was sent to the Rangers in return, along with picks that was sent to the Rangers. In return, Keandre Miller was brought in, and I assumed it was a player that I would say a lot of Canes fans liked, but also Canes fans would immediately understand why he was included in the deal. I'm talking about Scott Morrow. And then Elliot Friedman, on his 32 Thoughts podcast, check it out, does a lot of good work, said this, and I have the quote here that I'll read for you. Friedman said, "I'm not surprised the Hurricanes traded Scott Morrow. They've got a lot of D. He wasn't ready for what the Hurricanes do right now." And my first thought was, him having to say he's not surprised means someone out there is surprised. And then I looked at the comments from Canes fans, and there was more than a couple people on the post that I was reading in the article in the comments that didn't like that Scott Morrow was included in the trade. And my first thought went to, no, it had to be Scott Morrow. That's good asset management. Now, for more details from the Canes, their own social media feed, team social media feed, on how the Hurricanes acquired Keandre Miller, here's some audio.
His game's based on his physical being. What he brings is yeah. He's got good feet.
He reminds me of Brady Shea. That's what the skating. Yeah. And getting up in the rush.
My instinct is to put in a second. So
First, second, and Morrow?
Yeah. I can do a first, a second, and Morrow.
So what are we trading?
A first, a second, and Morrow. So welcome aboard. We are very excited to have you. It's think it's a great fit. You know, the way you skate and close out is going to, it's just going to fit the way we play.
So there's a little jumbled there, but you hear the negotiations, you hear how they came to the compensation package for Keandre Miller. First of all, and I said this earlier on the Adam Gold Show, I want to echo it. This is a loose reference, or it's just a terminology that comes from a fantasy football league I'm in. So I know you don't care about the fantasy football league at all, but I think there is a structure. There is a mechanism here that we need to bring to our coverage or to our fandom for the Carolina Hurricanes. In this dynasty, this fantasy league I'm in, we kind of have a language that we use, and one of them is my guys, okay? Like, that is my guy. And what that means is, like if Graham were in this league and he approached me about trading for a player and I responded with, just so you know, that's one of my guys, Graham would know.
He's untouchable.
Or you're going to have to way overpay. Like if the player is worth 2 first-round picks, you're going to have to give me 4. Right? It's not that I'm never going to trade him, but it's that you are going to have to way overpay for it. So I tell you up front, like he's one of my guys, so you know, like you don't waste your time trying to come up with a super, fair win-win trade, because I'm telling you, like, I'm irrational with this guy. He's like a adopted part of my family, right? That's not saying I won't trade him. Everybody has a number, but you're going to have to knock my absolute socks off. But the understanding is, everybody on your team can't be a my guy, right? Everybody in your system can't be a my guy. So when we're covering the Canes, I'm trying to come up with the appropriate number. I think what we're going to end up having is maybe 4 on the NHL roster, the big league club, and 2 prospects are your guys. And those players, you can get mad if they're traded. You can really feel wistful or reminiscent if they're on the way out. You can be bummed. But if anybody else is in or out or included in a trade, particularly for a player that the team has identified as a difference maker, you kind of got to eat that as business, right? They got better and they had to give up something. So Scott Morrow, good player, right? Drafted back in 2021, built his value at UMass over a 3-year college career, jumped up to the big league club, signed an entry-level deal, played 14 games for the Canes in the regular season, played the rest of the season in the AHL level with the Chicago Wolves, earned all prospect team honors with the AHL, appeared in 2 postseason games, had a rough go of it, struggled. Like, that's all good, right? That's all experience.
And also, he was coming into this postseason playing alongside Alexander Nikishin, which is like the next bread and butter for this Hurricanes organization that you would think fans would be okay with as long as Nikishin stuck around. Like, you would think the Hurricanes fan base would be having this reaction if it was Nikishin.
If Nikishin's included, I get it. My guess is, on that my guys list, if I gave you 2 prospects, Nikishin's a lot of people's my guy.
Right.
So now here's the next part. Once you decide you're bringing in Miller, you have to recognize you aren't the best place for Scott Morrow to develop. He's a defenseman that'll be in your AHL squad because you have your 6 guys. Slavin's not going anywhere. Nikishin is going to be brought up and thrown into the lineup for sure. Chatfield's not going anywhere. Sean Walker's not going anywhere. You bring in Keandre Miller, and Shane Gostisbehere is too valuable to your special teams. So you have your 6. So he's going to be back at the AHL level where he's already earned all prospect team. Like, he's already proven himself at that level. So if you can send him somewhere where they can give him the reps necessary and the experience necessary to keep developing, he's going to be worth more to them than you. That's why you trade him away. Right? He might be worth whatever, right? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, he might be worth a 7 to them and a 5 to you. So get 7 value by trading it to him. I like Morrow. I do. I don't think this is the Canes watching 2 playoff games where he struggled, throwing their hands in the air and saying, this guy is never going to work out. All that stuff we liked about him, all that development he did, it's all done because he struggled in 2. Let's get him out for whatever we can get. No, this is them saying, if he ends up being a third of Keandre Miller, and Keandre Miller signs for 8 years, and he becomes a tent pole, like a cornerstone of our blue line, that's good. That's good on Scott Morrow. That's good asset management. His legacy with the Canes will be a good one if he doesn't score a bunch of like postseason goals for the Rangers against the Canes, and Keandre Miller ends up being a stud. Then you look back and you go, Scott Morrow ended up being, a third of Keandre Miller. That's good. That's good. So my point is here, like, you can't be mad. You can't. You'll drive yourself crazy. Your arteries will pop if every time anyone is traded, you get all bent out of shape. So my point is, identify your guys, right? Identify who you want to truly invest in. And my guess is, if I give you like 3 or 4 on the big league club, it's going to be Aho, it's going to be Jarvis, it's going to be Slavin, and maybe one more, right? Everyone else, you kind of have to look at as a trade chip at some point. That's why I talk about like how important it was to get Jarvis on a long-term contract, because I'm like, now buy the jersey. Right now, buy the jersey. You can't do that for everybody, unless it's one of your guys. And by the way, like, if Stankoven's your guy, that's fine. Like, I'm not telling you who your guys can be, but I guarantee you, Scott Morrow would not be on everybody's list. It's for lack of a better way to describe it. I'm going to go to one of my favorite movies that I use as references all the time. Moneyball, Brad Pitt, right? There is a scene where Jonah Hill's character, who's like the assistant GM, asks Billy Bean's character why he doesn't travel to away games. And he's basically like, I can't become friends with these guys, right? I can't get to know them as people because I might have to trade them. I might have to cut them, right? I have to look at them as like stocks, right? So I can't become friends with them on the road. I can't get dinner with them. I can't be sitting next to them on an airplane because I might have to cut them. Now, I don't think you have to be that cold-blooded, right? And by the way, I'm just going to tell the scene because I think it's hilarious. Then they role play, and Billy Bean's like, all right, work on cutting me. Like, pretend you have to cut me. And Jonah Hill, who's, this young guy trying to learn the business, oh, we're going to have to cut you. What? My kids are in school. We just bought a house. You're cutting me? Jonah Hill hits him with, well, I wouldn't take him out in the school year. I'd wait for the summer. And Billy Bean's like, what the heck are you doing? Just cut him? Get out of there. That's a funny part of a movie to say this. As fans, I do think you need those relationships. I do think you can latch on to certain players as your guys, and when they leave, you can be sad. But if you're getting mad or you're getting confused or you're real emotionally attached to an AHL player that played 14 games in the big league club that doesn't have a spot on the Canes roster at all, you might be going a little too far. Now just get attached to Keandre Miller, maybe. He's on a long-term deal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. You absolutely can get attached to Maynard Service Company. And what I mean by that is they've been in the market for a long time. Their owner, Brett, he keeps the tradition alive, right? The original founder is still employed by Maynard Service Company. Is still training technicians on how to basically fix everything going on in your house. We're talking heating, we're talking cooling, we're talking plumbing, we're talking electric, and keeping that going, this passing of the knowledge, almost old school, like or what is it, orator, right? Like you tell the stories of the village down to the next generation. By doing that, it ensures that Manor Service Company technicians are up to date on every bit of equipment that you could possibly have in your house. Because we've all done it, right? When something breaks or when something fries finally, that's when you replace it. So you might have a heating system that came original with the house when it was built. You might have a air conditioning system that was added in 2 years ago. You might have some plumbing that's original with the house, some that was replaced when you put in the addition 6 months ago. Your electrical system, who knows what, right? So you need a technician that knows how to work on equipment from the 90s, equipment from the 2000s, the new stuff that is practically high-tech computers, and be able to fix it all. Get to the root of the issue, fix it, keep it maintained, keep it running well. Manor Service Company, due to the fact that they've been around, they have roots, and they are always on the cutting edge of training and education for their technician, can handle it all. So give them a call. 919-361-0993. That's electrical, plumbing, cooling, heating, all of it. 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at manorservices.com. MAYNOR services.com. Coming up next, the Dean's List. Who's making noise in the best way in the college sports world? Stick around.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Brought to you by the Original Super Glue. By qualifying Original Super Glue products and save $10 per ticket. Offer available at participating town and country hardware stores. See stores for details. Coming to Lenovo Center July 26th and 27th.
What sounds like a fun weekend?
Let's rent e-bikes and have a picnic.
What does not sound like a fun weekend?
We need to fix the gutters. Let's make 6 trips to the hardware store and still end up with leaky spots.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at preserveservices.com.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Primus returns. Onward and Upward Summer Tour. Headed to Red Hat Amphitheater on July 23rd. Primus with special guest Mono Neon. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Primus, live in concert, presented by Live Nation.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Here is Hansbrough, missed the free throw, is back up for the shot, and then gets taken down.
He got punched in the face by Gerald Henderson.
Intentional foul and Tyler's nose is bloody.
I mean, he got punched with a balled-up fist in the face.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You have a half hour to text in BEEF, B-E-E-F, to 919-860-5326 to make sure you are in the running for today's drawing to create a finalist in our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. Text BEEF, B-E-E-F, 919-860-5326 is the number. Every weekday, including today, this week, around 4 p.m., we will call one of the lucky texters, somebody that sends in BEEF, on air. All they have to do is tell us their weight, and they will be in the running, one of our 10 finalists, of which one will be randomly selected to win their weight in meat. Brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. And, Graham, I have an update for everybody out there.
What's that?
Now you get each day you can text in once, and you get additional entries. So we were operating on the assumption that, and this is true, like if you texted in on Monday, you would have been in the running for all of last week. That is true, but this week, I want to let everybody know. If you texted in last week, you're still in the running 1 time. But if you text in again today, you'll be in the running 2 times. And if you text in tomorrow, 3 times. And the next day, 4 times. But you got to get them in before 4 o'clock, so you're in the running for each day, right? So text in BEEF, B-E-E-F, to 919-860-5326. We'll be selecting the next finalist at 4. And even if you've texted in previously, you get another entry. If you text in BEEF again, you can do it once a day. BEEF to 919-860-5326. Don't say I didn't warn you.
And be by your phone.
And, oh, yes, the other thing you have to do is make sure you hear the call around 4.
Did you and Max have good luck on Friday in terms of the caller coming on right away? Because I feel like right now I have the bad luck of people not picking up the phone when I call.
I don't recall if he had to call more than one person, but I do think we had a good size. I think it was like a mid 200-pounder, which obviously in a Win Your Weight and Meat competition is going to be up there.
There you go, another O-line and D-lineman.
This was probably more like a tight end linebacker. Like we're not talking like we're not near pushing 3 bills, but still, big skill we used to call him. We used to have linemen, skill position, and big skill when we were running conditioning and stuff. Big skill was quarterbacks, tight ends, linebackers, sometimes running backs, depending. Big skill, that's what we had. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's go ahead and jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we pass along a little more praise, a few more accolades to those in the college sports world that deserve a little extra attention. Starting with Wake Forest baseball. So they had 3 players drafted in the top 10 last year. Wake Forest baseball did. Now, this year, they had 2 players drafted in the top 17, but they were back-to-back. Merrick Houston to I think it was Minnesota, took him 16th. And then Ethan Conrad went to the Cubbies at 17th overall. So in the top 17 in the last 2 drafts, they've had 5 players taken. They weren't even, no offense, that good this year. And then you have Nick Kurtz balling out in the big leagues, hitting home runs all the darn time. Like, the Wake Forest baseball is cranking out pros. So, shout out to them. They get to be on the Dean's List. Another one on the Dean's List. North Carolina Tar Heels. North Carolina has had a first-round draft pick in the NFL draft. They've had a first-round draft pick in the NBA draft. They've had a first-round draft pick in the MLB draft. Football, basketball, baseball. I think there maybe is one other team out there, Arizona, perhaps. Tedero McMillan being part of that. But that's big time for UNC, right? Just a well-rounded, right? You had Omarion Hampton, running back, 22nd overall to the Chargers. Drake Powell, forward, 22nd overall to the Nets in the NBA draft. And then Luke Stevenson. Major League Baseball does it weird. Technically, he was a competitive balance round A pick, but everywhere I've seen is counted it as a first-rounder. It's the 35th overall pick to the Mariners. UNC Tar Heels getting drafted high, making that sweet, sweet cash. That's got to be cool. Just like, hey, yeah, that guy that lived down the dorm from me, he's a first-rounder. That other guy that was, I used to see around the weight room, he's a first-rounder. And then we got this first-rounder, and then we got that first-rounder, and we got that guy drafted in third, that guy, that's just, that's cool. Do you have a Dean's List member you'd like to throw in here, Graham?
It's not a college athlete, but it's a student athlete, so hopefully you'll let me make an exception just because this is a pretty cool story. So left-handed pitcher Briggs McKenzie. Finishes up or is rewarded for his dominant career at Holders High School by being selected by the Atlanta Braves in the 4th round of the NBA draft. This spring, McKenzie turned his senior season into one for the record books. 13 starts, he allowed only 4 runs on 25 hits and struck out 138 batters in 69 1/3 innings.
Briggs McKenzie. That's a great baseball name.
So from Johnson County to the ATL. That is a good baseball name. I didn't even realize that.
On the mound, Briggs McKenzie.
So again, not a college athlete, but student athlete. So
might be passing up his opportunity at a college career because when you're drafted that high, that comes with large amounts of money.
And when you're at high school, that's just going ahead and getting selected to the show right out of the gate. That's pretty cool. So shout out to Johnson County, shout out to Holders High School, and shout out to Briggs McKenzie.
I feel like that's a name you have to say. Like Briggs McKenzie. You got to say it like you're like an announcer.
Now on the mound for the Braves.
There we go. Now on the mound.
Left-handed pitcher, number 4, Briggs McKenzie.
Going into the 9th inning, Briggs McKenzie has thrown 8 innings of one-hit baseball. Briggs McKenzie goes for the complete game shutout. Coming up next. Like Briggs McKenzie, I like it.
I might just audition for a PA role.
Briggs
McKenzie.
McKenzie.
As a side hustle just then.
Last one here for you on the Dean's List. The 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. Sorry, 2021 Georgia Bulldogs. Connor Stallions, the guy that was stealing signs for Michigan. He's I don't know if he's the most trustworthy source, but he's starting to pass out information on the sign stealing scandal.
Interesting.
He claims there were 7 games where he was working with Michigan and he knew every signal. Where he was watching the other team and he knew every single hand signal that they used and signed from the sidelines. One of them was the 2021 college football playoff semifinal versus Georgia. He says he knew every signal. Georgia won 34-11. Do you realize how good you have to be to have another team know what is coming, and you still beat them 34-11? That's insane.
Kirby Smart doesn't play, folks.
That's insane. Or how bad Michigan is, right? Like it's. This happens occasionally in baseball. I think it was Zach Greinke did it a few times, where like he got so mad at the pitcher for some reason he would just scream like curveball, and then he'd throw a curveball and still strike the guy out. Like, you got to be a baller to have everybody know what is going on, and you still beat them. So I'm not even a Georgia fan, but I'm anti-Michigan cheating. So shout out to Georgia for putting them in their place. Like, listen, I'm not an NFL quarterback, but if I was out there, I played at the University of Delaware, if I knew what the defense was doing, I'd be pretty good. You're blitzing? Because I know from your signals? Check to the screen. Like, we could win a lot of games if I knew everything the opposing team was going to do. But apparently Michigan can't. That might be the story. They cheated and only won one national championship. How embarrassing is that? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the Dean's List. Dismiss them. We do have Monday Soundoff coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. I'm going to ask you for your favorite individual rivalries of all time. 2 people, rivals. Which ones are your favorite of all time? I'm going to be asking you. So have that ready. Start thinking about it. We'll open up the phone lines for you in the 4 o'clock hour, about 4:15 or 4:20. We also have winners and losers coming up. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. I have an all-time rivalry here. Miller Lending against Closing Costs. That's an all-time rivalry because Miller Lending watches everybody go to these other lenders or other brokers when they're getting their mortgage, and they sign up for the rate, and they look at the 30-year payment that you're going to make every month, and then they fork over all these closing costs and fees. This giant check at closing. Here you go, money out of my pocket. And Miller Lending is going, that is my rival. I never want to see someone do that again. So they originated the home of something called the no-cost loan. Gordon's been doing it since 1987. Miller Lending has been doing it here in the market, locally owned in Cary, for a very long time. We're talking decades. It is a no-closing cost loan. They do not want you to have to prepare to make these monthly payments every month and also fork over a big check at closing. So instead, they have no closing costs, no fees. Zero means zero. That also prevents you from doing things like buying down your rate because you have that extra cash right now to go ahead and cover maybe a slightly higher monthly payment because rates are above where you want them to be, but you are prepared if and when rates drop to pounce on a refi because it's no cost to you, no fees, no money out of your pocket. It gives you flexibility, it gives you adaptability, and it keeps that big fat closing cost check in your pocket at closing. Yeah. It's that good. That's why they're rivals, right? That's why they don't like closing costs, because they're fighting for you. The number to call to learn more from Gordon Miller and everyone out there at Miller Lending, like I said, locally owned in Cary. The phone number is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. It actually might not be good to say they're rivals, because what's the trash talk about rival? You know, it's not a rivalry if one side's winning every single time, and Miller Lending is always winning against closing costs. So maybe it's not the best rivalry. It's just kind of a lopsided matchup. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We have winners and losers coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
The golf season is here. Time to upgrade your game. Head to Global Golf and explore Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf clubs. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned player, our expert staff will get you fit. Are you ready to trade in your current clubs? Global Golf makes it easy to trade in your previously played equipment and upgrade to your next set of clubs. Visit Global Golf today, located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
Is your heating and air system handling the hot weather okay? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. 'Cause I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Another payoff. And he locked him up for strike 3. Front door slider. 8 strikeouts for Miserowski in 5 scoreless innings.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Few reminders before we get to winners and losers. You have 13 more minutes to text in beef to 919-860-5326 to get an entry. An additional entry if you've texted in the past. You can text in once per day and get another entry to our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. At 4 o'clock, keep your phone on, by the way, once you text it in, because we will call one of you, and you have to answer or respond very quickly, right? We'll give you 5 minutes to call back. We'll call you, we'll bring you on air, and if you tell us your weight, you will be one of our 10 finalists, of which one will be randomly selected to win their weight and meat, not their wheat and weight. Randomly selected to win their weight in meat. All brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Text beef to 919-860-5326 in the next few minutes here, if you haven't done so already today, to maximize your chances at being selected as a finalist on today's show. Also, we have Monday Soundoff coming up in the next hour, so start thinking about what your favorite individual rivalry of all time is. We're talking one person against one person. Or maybe you have a three-way rivalry, I guess. 3 people that all hate each other. Maybe that's there. But we're looking all through the history of sports for individual rivalries because I think we are missing them right now. So that's coming up in 4:15 or 4:20, right, when we get to it. We'll open up the phone lines. We want to hear from you. Right now, it's time for winners and losers, so Graham, fire it up. Winners and losers, who won and who lost the last week. And we're talking more vibes, right? Not just this team scored more than that team. We did just mention this, so I'll hit a winner and loser quick right at the gate. Winner, Wake Forest baseball. Why? Because they had 2 players drafted in the first round. Merrick Houston, we're talking baseball, obviously, Major League Baseball. Merrick Houston to Minnesota 16th overall. Ethan Conrad to the Cubbies at number 17. Loser, also Wake Forest baseball. Why? Because one of their commits, Wesleyan Christian Academy product, in-state commit, Josh Hammond, was taken at the end of the first round. Now, maybe it was unlikely that Hammond was going to make his way to the actual Wake Forest baseball team, but once his kind of estimated salary is somewhere in the $3.28 million range, probably less likely he passes that up to go to Wake Forest. So you better recruit somebody else, Wake Forest, because he ain't coming to campus. Do you have some winners and losers you'd like to throw in here, Graham?
My loser is going to be Rory McIlroy missing a 12-foot birdie at the par 5. 16th and got her up, hit a right to left putt from 10 feet in the heart of the cup for a 2-shot lead with 2 to play, which ultimately ended up leading him to win the Scottish Open over the weekend. Brutal finish once again for Rory McIlroy. Where have I seen this story before?
You know what? I think it's good. One of my bold predictions with Max the other day was Rory's going to win the Open Championship, the British Open, as many know it. I think him playing well but coming up just short in the Scottish is kind of, letting him know his game's on point for links golf. He just has to play a little bit more clutch. Might win the much more important trophy this week.
Winner? Can I give a winner?
Absolutely. You can give as many as you want.
Aaron Judge becomes the fastest player in MLB history to reach 350 career homers this past Saturday, and it feels inevitable that he's going to join the hollowed 500 homer club sometime in the next several years.
This is a good question, or a good point to bring up. I think baseball is in a bit of a pretzel with how to deal with Aaron Judge, because he is the first, at least from where I'm sitting, like Paul Bunyan, big, larger, big muscles, larger than life body type home run hitter to kind of reach these heights since the steroid era, right? So it's like, where does he fit in history? Is he? It's really because he like the next fastest at 350 in a career is Mark McGwire, and he did it like 200 games slower than Aaron Judge. The home run history meter is so wonky because of the steroid era that it's like, I don't think people know what to do with Aaron Judge. Like, what club is he joining? Because it's really weird. Like, he's going to probably hit for 500 home runs. I don't think he gets to 600, right? It's one of those deals, and that's because he started late, and also you don't expect him to hit home runs into his 40s like some of the steroid guys. It's a real weird situation, but obviously wildly impressive that he's mashed taters at the rate that he has done since entering into the league. I'll give you a loser here. Florida High School Athletics Association. Do you see what they suspended Teddy Bridgewater for?
Yeah.
Our guy, Teddy B.
It wasn't recruit violations, but it was something like along the like help and pay for players or something.
So Teddy B, I'm not pocket watching, but the numbers kind of matter here. He made roughly $65 million in his NFL career, 31 of which came from the Carolina Panthers. He's got money, okay? I say that because there's certain things you can do when you have $60 million in career earnings that you can't do if you're one of us, right? So last season, he coached at his high school. He's the head coach at his high school football. And he forked over, reportedly, the details are still coming out, around $200,000 of his own money on things to help the kids. Ubers to and from practice for those that didn't have transportation, pregame meals, gear that the players could wear, recovery, he brought in a recovery truck. My guess is it's like a cryotherapy and stuff. Like that's a guess, but things to help the players recover after hot days. All of that, and some of them like weekly expenses, right? It costs certain amount of money each week for him to do. He took it all out of his pocket. It was not money earmarked for other uses. It was not fundraised for other things. It was his own cash. So earlier this month, he puts out a Facebook post that says, like, hey, I paid for all this last year. If you want to help support the team and help fund some of it, we can raise some money. That raises the antennas of Florida High School Sports Athletic Association, whatever the FHSAA stands for. He's now suspended from the school. And the team, the school, is worried that there will be a postseason ban and a fine coming their way because another school that was caught giving their players free meals and Uber rides, let's see here, last fall, another school caught with that, caught is such a dumb word, was given a 2-year postseason ban and a $36,000 fine.
Is anything that he did putting that team in a situation where their level of play somehow gets so much more elevated because Teddy Bridgewater is taking money out of his own pocket to help these guys?
I don't get it. He's helping the kids. Now listen, if rules are rules, okay? If it's, I don't know, some kind of a competitive disadvantage, which
there's no competitive disadvantage in this.
Well, if like other teams are like, our kids don't get the recovery. All right, have your coach or your parents fund. Let's say rules are rules, and they want to come in and say, listen, other schools can't afford to pay their players for their players' meals and things. So, we're gonna ask that you not do it. There are ways to go about this with tact. Call them up. Hey, Teddy, unbelievable gesture. The fact that you were willing to part with $200,000 of your own money to help the kids in the community that helped develop you into an NFL player is unbelievable. We commend you for it. However, these rules are in place for XYZ reasons. For that, you can't continue doing this, but let's work with the school. Let's find a way where we can allow you to pour your money and your funds into your former high school program because you value it, right?
Yeah.
And that's essentially what Teddy said. Teddy in a Facebook post said, like, listen, I already resigned as coach. I'm not employed there. I don't know. I can't be suspended because I'm not an employee. I'll go back to just being a volunteer in the stands. And do you know what's the dumbest part? If he's not the head coach, he can give as much money as he wants. How dumb is that? You're going to take an NFL quarterback with all that knowledge and all that time, because he's retired and he doesn't have to work, away from the kids' practice. He's no longer going to be their coach. He's not going to pass along that wisdom as head coach anymore so he can fund them financially, instead of letting him be the head coach and doing it because he cares. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Ask yourself, if you are a high school sports administrator, is the decision we're making helping or hurting the kids? Lean towards helping, and you'll be fine. I get so frustrated with this. High school sports, by the way, there are a billion people out there, and a billion's only an exaggeration by a little bit, that treat high school and youth sports the wrong way. They treat it like win at all costs. They treat it like it's not about increasing the players' experience. It's not about any of that. It's about me winning. It's about me looking good. It's about me being the coach. You have a guy that's spending his own cash. Celebrate him. Celebrate him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's winners and losers. We have to make our call for our Win Your Weight and Meat competition, so Graham's going to do that during the commercial break. I will get ready for football at 4, and we will be back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. TNCs apply.
Hey, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy energy-smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited-time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Black isn't just a color. It's the presence of infinite possibilities. It's the moment before everything changes. An invitation to something unforgettable.
I won.
Win up to $4 million with Carolina Black Premier from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Midday heating up. Highs today low to mid-90s with isolated afternoon downpours. A WRAL weather alert day due to the potential for flooding, especially heading into the night. Overnight temperatures in the 70s with rain gradually weakening. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. For a quick check of your money, Dow Jones up 74 points at 44,445.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to football at 4, we have some very important business to handle. We have to qualify our next finalist to potentially win their weight in meat. Every day this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the weekdays, we are qualifying a new finalist for or a win your weight in meat competition. You can be in the running. All you have to do is text BEEF to 919-860-5326, then have your phone on at 4 o'clock for us to give you a call on any of the next 4 days. That's exactly what Jim and Carrie did, and he is on the line waiting to qualify himself as a finalist. Jim, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
All right. All you have to do to officially punch your ticket to the finals is let us know how much you weigh. What weight are we working with?
258.
258. That's a solid number. That'd be a pretty good prize if you win your weight in meat. So I'll give you the same piece of advice that I give all the finalists. We pick the winner randomly out of the 10 finalists, of which you are one, on Monday, July 21st. That's a week from today. So at 4 o'clock on Monday, I would advise that you double-check the connection on your phone, make sure the volume's loud on the ringer, and when we call, make sure you pick up that phone if we do call, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will do.
All right. I appreciate very much, Jim. Stay on the line. Graham has some info he needs to get from you, but you are officially a contestant.
Thank you.
We will have 10 finalists by the time it's all said and done. We have 4 more to qualify each of the next 4 days here at 4 o'clock. And of those 10, 1 will be randomly selected to win their weight in meat. If you want to be in the mix, you got to text BEEF to 919-860-5326. And if you've already done it, you can get an additional entry into the pool if you text each day. Okay, so you get 1 additional entry each day. Jim and Carrie, 258. That'd be a nice prize. An official contestant. Brought to you, by the way, all of this brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Now the drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan moves towards a little football at 4. And maybe a cold glass of water to the face for Bryce Young supporters out there. The league has spoken. They do not see Bryce Young as a top half of the league quarterback, and it might not even be close. ESPN conducts this poll every offseason. It is an anonymous poll of NFL front office executives, coaches, and scouts. So the way I describe it is the players that dedicate their lives, their professional careers, to evaluating football players. Right? There's hobbyists out there. There's analysts that do it. But if you're a scout, if you're a front office executive or a coach, it's pretty much the most important thing you do. So they polled those players, those people. They ask for top 10 at each position. They take those lists, compile them, and come up with the kind of consensus top 10. They add honorable mention, right? Then players that receive the next most amount of votes. Then they add the also receiving votes categories. That's pretty much everybody else that anybody put on a list. Today is quarterback day. They released the position of quarterback. The top 10 did not include Bryce Young. I don't think anybody's surprised by that. There were 2 honorable mentions. Did not include Bryce Young. There were 6 also receiving votes. Did not include Bryce Young. So that, you can do the math, right? That's 18 players that the league has spoken, had got at least a vote, got some votes. None of them are Bryce Young. There are only 32 teams, right? So you do the math. He's a bottom half quarterback at best, and right, and we don't know. We don't know if he's 19 or 27, right? We just know he's not top 18. And I can hear fans out there. I can hear. How? Did you see the second half of that season? Did you see how he bounced back? Oh, now that he's on the same page with Canales, and oh goodness, he's gonna. How is he not? Who's above him? Who's above him? I'll tell you who's above him. The top 10, I don't think you can really argue with. It's Pat Mahomes, it's Josh Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Matt Stafford, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, pretty tough list to go against.
Honorable mention, the guy drafted 1 spot after Bryce, C.J. Stroud, and Jordan Love. Also receiving votes, Kyler Murray, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa, Bo Nix. Now, we could make some arguments maybe that one of these guys is ranked too high. Jaden Daniels seems high. Like, we could go and we could relitigate this whole list. I'm not saying Bryce Young should be on it. Matter of fact, I agree that he's not. I don't see anybody on there and say Bryce Young has actually put the tape or put the play together to be above them. And if you think he is, if you think he should be above Aaron Rodgers, if you think he should be above Tua Tagovailoa or Bo Nix, or name whoever you think they are, I think you're dealing with a something that I think we all fall for. And, Graham, I like to name my theories. For me, I call it the Allen Robinson tunnel vision. Okay, and I explained this on the Adam Gold Show earlier today. I'll explain it once again for those of you that weren't listening. I think it was 2014. I had Allen Robinson on my fantasy team. And Allen Robinson was a wide receiver for the Jaguars that led the country, meaning the NFL, in touchdown receptions. And he wasn't selected to the Pro Bowl. Okay? All you need to know, he had a really good year for him, and he was not selected to the Pro Bowl originally. And I got very upset. Not because I'm a Jags fan, not because I was a Penn State fan where Allen Robinson went, none of that. I had watched all of Allen Robinson's games because he was on my fantasy team. So I knew he had, I think it was 14 touchdowns, and I knew that he was open for 4 more and Blake Bortles missed him, and I knew that he caught 2 more, but they were called back for penalties away from the ball, and I knew that he made 2 unbelievable catches down at the 1-yard line, but they ran it in, and he should have got credit for those touchdowns. And so I knew all the context about Allen Robinson. So I was sitting there, and it was 14 touchdowns, but in my head, it was really 24 touchdowns because he had the 10 that didn't count, but they should have. So I was like, how is he not in the Pro Bowl? This guy's unbelievable. But what I didn't do, right, and this is because I was a flawed thinker at the time, and still am in many ways, what I didn't do was go watch the guys that were in the Pro Bowl. The guys that were selected over him, the guys that people thought were better than him, and watch to see how many touchdowns they had taken away for penalties, or watch to see how many touchdowns their quarterback overthrew them on, or watch to see how unbelievable their plays were that got down at the 1. I didn't do that for everybody, right? So I just had context for one player, thus I thought he was better than he actually was. And by the way, he made it as an alternate. So if you're sitting there going, but Bryce Young's offensive line wasn't very good, or his receivers weren't getting open, but Bryce Young, he improved so much as the year went on, but Bryce Young, I'm going, all right, I'll hear you. I hear you. Trust me, I'm down on his wide receivers like everybody else last year. And I'm down on his offensive line the year before like everybody else last year. And I don't think Dave Canales was the best play caller, particularly early on, and he hit his stride later. And I agree that he had all that holding him back. And yes, their defense was historically bad. I hear you. I gotcha. Are you going to go watch every single game from all of the quarterbacks above him and see if their offensive line wasn't playing great? How many passes did Tua Tagovailoa have dropped? How many times did he not have time to get the ball off because an offensive lineman messed up? Or how many times did his defense, get beat quickly and not give him time to figure it out on the sideline? Or same with Kyler Murray, or same with Jordan Love, and on and on and on and on. If you're not putting the context together for anyone but Bryce Young, you are dealing with Allen Robinson tunnel vision, right? You're missing the context elsewhere. Since then, and what I believe is less flawed thinking, I tend to believe it comes out in the wash, right? I tend to believe, unless there's like a historic year where a player deals with like record-breaking amounts of drops from his receivers, I tend to believe that your stats are what your stats are, and we can compare them. I get very frustrated when somebody goes, yeah, but his offensive line stunk. And I'm going like, all right, let's go look at every other team and see what their stats do. Because you could argue, like the good teams, they're ahead more. So their passing yards, their passing stats are artificially held behind because they're playing 4-minute offense and they're not in a rush and they're not slinging it to come back from deficits, right? So if you're on a good team, your stats are artificially held down. But if you're on a bad team, they're artificially held down by having not a great supporting cast. Like, everything comes out in the wash. Everybody's got to deal with it.
And I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and be a Debbie Downer on Bryce Young, because in those last 7 games, he played really good against 2 of the teams that were in the NFL, in the Super Bowl: Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. 1 possession loss in each of those games, 2 possession loss against the Eagles. But then you look at the only teams that they beat in their final 7 stretch: Arizona Cardinals in overtime. Cardinals were That Panthers eliminated the Cardinals from playoff contentions with that win, and it took them in overtime to go up to knock out a Kyler Murray and not a good Cardinals team. And then the Atlanta Falcons, that's one of those games where you just need to take care of business.
The Falcons win was a good win. Do not get me wrong. Falcons win was a good win for the Panthers.
44-38 in overtime. But after watching quarterbacks, it makes you realize how murky of a situation it was down there in Atlanta.
The most important thing in a quarterback's ability is consistency. Most important, right? There's a lot of guys that can have a good game. There's a lot of guys that can go out there and dice it up for a month. You're not going to win. You're not going to carry a team. You're not going to be a franchise guy if you don't play very well way more often than not. The Atlanta game was a good win. Great game from Bryce. You're not going to hear me talk down upon it. He looked electric. It's one game. No NFL executive anonymously is saying that guy is great because of the Atlanta game. It's just not how it works. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's open up the phone lines. Heister Automotive Group Hotline. It is a Monday Soundoff. Here's the question I want you to answer. What is the greatest individual rivalry of all time? One person. We're not looking for teams here. What is the greatest, your favorite individual rivalry of all time? That's what I want to know. Call in now, 919-860-5326. Heister Automotive Group Hotline, 919-860-5326. What is the greatest individual? I'm not talking teams, although they could be members of teams, right? Like if you pick two players on the Red Sox and Yankees or whatever, feel free. It could be coaches, could be whatever. I want to know the greatest individual sports rivalries of all time, and I want to hear why. 919-860-5326. I want to hear from all of you. Call in now. Monday Soundoff coming up next.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. One thing that I'm looking forward to is when the weather clears up, getting back out on the motorcycle as much as possible. I absolutely hate the fact that my motorcycle has just been parked in the driveway over the last several weeks with all this crazy heat, the bad weather, and everything that we've been having. The motorcycle, unfortunately, gets parked away. But when I get back out on the motorcycle, and before I even go on the roads again, I have to make sure the bike is in proper working order. Got to check the tire pressure. Have to make sure I clean my bike. Also, make sure that you go into a safe area and ride on the bike a little bit. Get the feel for the balance once again, even before you go back out there on the open road. Be safe. Be safe out there on the road. If you are injured in an accident, give Law Tigers a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the call. Your case evaluation is always free. Law Tigers is the network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
Golf's final major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover the British Open from Royal Portrush. Depend on us for leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Claret Jug.
Xander Schauffele is the winner of the 152nd Open Championship.
Coverage of the British Open on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with one membership.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with a Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
Maxed out on credit cards? Struggling with high interest debt? You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Their service is off the charts. Call now to start the conversation. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get debt relief now. Loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is a bad scene. Both in the middle of the field, the fight has spilled over to the NC State bench. The NC State wanted to plant the flag in midfield, and players like J.J. Jones took exception to it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for a Monday Soundoff, where we open up the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Now today, I'm hoping that by the end of today's show, I will have a new theory. Okay? Right now, what we're doing is we're opening up the process. I'm going to hopefully have all of you help me craft my new theory. It's something that I've noticed in the last 6 months, but it came to a head this weekend. But the help I need from you is we need to decide, we need to hear, we need to talk out as a group the greatest individual rivalries of all time. Okay, I'm not necessarily looking for teams, right? I don't need Duke, Carolina. I don't need Ohio State, Michigan. Like individual people rivalries throughout sports history. So if you have one that is your favorite, a really, really good individual sports rivalry, I want to hear it from you. It is a Monday sound off, so we want as many of you to call in as possible. The number is, for the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. I may ask a couple follow-up questions on your individual rivalry, but nothing hard, nothing that you won't be able to answer, and it's not like we're grading you on this. This isn't some kind of end-of-the-year oral presentation that you need to do to get a grade. We're just talking here, and perhaps by the end of today's show, we'll be able to put it all together, collect all the dots, and have a new theory that we can track. The first caller, which, by the way, the number is open for all of you right now. Call in now, like I'm talking about immediately. 919-860-5326. The first caller we'll go to is Bronson and Garner. Bronson, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. What is your greatest or your favorite individual rivalry of all time?
Thanks for taking my call, Tim. You guys are awesome, and I have Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
Ali Frazier, perfect. That is obviously one of the top of all time. What is it about that rivalry that makes it so great to you?
Just the intensity of the fights. They were both at the height of their careers and skills. And from what I remember correctly, Frazier won the first fight, and Muhammad Ali won the second two, and just widely considered one of the greatest rivalries in combat sports history.
All right, Bronson, I appreciate it. Ali Frazier locked in, and you may have just helped us in part create a new theory here. So Bronson and Garner, thank you very much for calling in. Ali Frazier, intensity, good. We're going to keep building off of this. Cameron and Raleigh, you are next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Call in with your individual rivalries. Cameron, thank you for calling in. What is your favorite or the greatest to you individual sports rivalry of all time?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I actually really appreciate what Bronson said with that boxing rivalry, because I have a similar one. Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez fought 4 times, and it was one of the best series I've ever seen. The reason I rank it so high is because I had to see every fight to see how it was going to go. It was so even. But to go away from boxing, I'll actually say Michael Schumacher and Mika Hakkinen in F1 back in the day. That's one of the best rivalries I've ever seen in racing.
Okay, let me ask you this. Of those two, and those are two sports that I do not consider myself an expert in. What was the tenor of it? Like, did these players like each other? Did they not? Was it fiery? Like give me if you know a little bit of the temperature on these.
So with Marquez and Pacquiao, one fighters. I lived in LA for a while and got really into boxing out there. So Marquez and Pacquiao were actually pretty respectful of each other. What made that rivalry so much fun is I had a lot of friends in the Mexican and Filipino community, and they were just at each other's throats over these fights.
Perfect.
So part of the fun was me going to the fights and seeing all the fans interact and get into it. But the two individuals themselves had a lot of mutual respect for each other, and I believe that was the same case with Schumacher and Hakkinen.
Perfect. Thank you very much for calling in, Cameron. Two great additions. We'll add them to the list. Phone lines are open, by the way. Heister Automotive Group hotline. Greatest individual rivalries is what we're looking for, and I promise there's a rhyme and a reason to everything we're doing right now. Jim in Franklinton, you are up next. Jim, thank you very much for calling in. What is your favorite or greatest individual rivalry in sports history?
Well, that's close. It's Tim, not Jim. But
sorry about
that. How about John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg?
That's a fantastic option. As a matter of fact, that one is very close to the inspiration for this segment.
How about that?
Now that is
as a kid. Yeah, I just remember as a kid. You know, my folks had split, and my dad and stepmother were big into tennis, and I just remember watching Borg and McEnroe, and of course, and had Navratilova and Billie Jean King and Chrissy Everett. You know,
yep.
Whatever, you know, whichever time, and Jimmy Connors, they mixed too. Those six tennis players. They were intense. Those were battles.
Now, is it safe to say that you just listed six of the best tennis players of all time. They all were playing at the kind of same time, right?
Yep.
But you led with McEnroe Borg. Is it safe to say that's because McEnroe brought the sauce, right? He brought the trash talk, so that's the one that you go to first.
And I go to McEnroe first because of the smack. That's exactly right.
Perfect.
And they're coming behind him, but Jimmy Connors was his own little smack talker too. Though.
Perfect. That again plays in perfectly. This is working out swimmingly. Tim and Franklin, thank you very much for calling in, and call back in anytime. Next up, I want to see how many different ones we can come up with that are truly great. Dustin in Raleigh. We're talking rivalries here on The Drive, and we want to hear yours. Greatest individual rivalry of all time.
I'm going to have to take it back to Rockingham when I was a youngster and go with Richard Petty versus Dale Earnhardt.
Petty versus Earnhardt. Now,
our first NASCAR one. I like that.
Now, I again, this is a sport that I do not pretend to be an expert in, so I'm going to ask you to educate me a little bit. If I'm not mistaken, Petty was kind of the old guard, Earnhardt the young whippersnapper?
Yes.
Okay.
And growing up here in North Carolina, I think you met two kinds of people that early on, and one school pulled for Earnhardt, one school pulled for Richard Petty.
So like a state divided kind of?
I would say so.
All right, perfect. That's a very good one, and obviously North Carolina, we love when it gets local. So thank you very much, Dustin. We'll add it to the list. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open on a Monday. Soundoff. We are looking for the greatest individual rivalries of all time. 919-860-5326. That's funny. I almost read this as we have Tom Wilson, which, talking rivalries, I mean, that guy, a lot of people would like to be his rival. But it's Tom in Wilson. Tom in Wilson, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. What's your greatest or your favorite individual rivalry of all time?
Actually, it's Tom in Hillsborough, but that's cool.
All right. It's all good.
Jack and Arnie.
Jack versus Arnie. Okay, now I do consider myself pretty well versed in golf, but I want to hear your side of things. Why is that one so special?
Well, first of all you need is first names, and you know who I'm talking about. Arnie was, I think, more popular than Jack. Jack was probably the better golfer, and I think that added to the rivalry too.
All right, perfect. I agree with that as well, and we'll add them to the list. Jack and Arnie. And by the way, like, I actually thought about this when I was putting together my favorites. And we want to hear all of yours. Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. It's a Monday sound-off. Lines are open for your answers. We want to cover as many of your answers as possible. Best individual rivalries of all time, your favorite, the one you consider the greatest. I did consider, like, if you could have Tiger and Jack as a rivalry, even though they're generations apart and didn't really battle against each other. I think the Jack and Arnie or the Tiger and Phil, which hasn't even been mentioned yet, are probably the true answers there. David and Raleigh, you are on the line. You've been waiting patiently. We'll go to you next. David and Raleigh, what is the greatest individual rivalry of all time?
Hey, Tim, thanks for having me. I think you're going to like this one. This is going to be I'm going to get some slack here for being like possibly a fake sport or whatever. But there's nothing better than Hulk Hogan Andre back in the day.
That's Graham clapping.
Yes, thank you, David.
Those two were the biggest in their sport. Like Hulk Hogan, being like he is, and Andre being like 7 foot, whatever, 350 pounds. When those two met. It was huge. Pro wrestling was big back in the 80s.
All right.
So,
we'll put it to the list, even if I maybe don't agree with it.
You don't have to call it a fake sport, David. I mean, look, the training that they go through.
It's already known. You don't have to say it. It's known.
The training they go through, all right, it's pretty much competitive ballet. I mean, some of the stuff those guys do. I mean, look, the main event of the Saturday night main event lasted longer than the UFC fight this past Saturday. So I think there's something that needs to be said for that.
Yeah, that's what the script said. Appreciate.
Oh, that's true.
Appreciate the call and thank you very much for contributing. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. All right, so the phone lines will stay open. Heister Automotive Group hotline 919-860-5326. We're looking for the greatest individual rivalries of all time. But I also said at the beginning, this is kind of a scientific experiment, right? I am auditioning a new theory or a new issue, I guess you could call it, whatever. There are a bunch of different ways to say it. With current sports, and we are leaning on you to help me, okay? Because you are like, we're pulling the fandom right now. The phone lines are open. It's a Monday sound off. We want to hear from all of you. 919-860-5326. We're talking individual rivalries. Person on person, not team on team. 919-860-5326. Of all time, you can pick any of them. We'll go Dean and Rocky Mount up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Dean, welcome back to the show. What is your greatest individual rivalry?
For me, and this is NASCAR country, so I have to give a NASCAR answer. I got to go with Dale Earnhardt Sr. versus Jeff Gordon. Those battles they had in the 90s were electric.
Okay, and again, with not being a massive NASCAR guy, what was the temperature of that? Like, what was the personal dynamic between Jeff Gordon and Earnhardt Sr.?
I mean, it's kind of a driver's thing where, unless like someone's like the biggest annoying person on planet Earth, they all kind of get along. But on the track, it was huge. They were wrecking each other. Their fans were going at it. It was huge back in the 90s.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dean. Appreciate the call. And we'll add Earnhardt and Gordon up there. Earnhardt's on the list twice now. Just calling that out. Dale Earnhardt Sr. apparently, got to rubbing and racing, if you know what I mean. We'll go back to the call-in line. We have Reed and Clayton. Reed, thank you very much for calling in. What is your greatest individual sports rivalry choice?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Mine's a little bit more obscure.
Love it.
As a diehard hockey fan back in the 80s, Cam Neely and Claude Lemieux. If you know anything about that rivalry, it was just incredible.
All right, educate me a bit. Why was it so incredible?
So Cam Neely, back in the day, 50-goal scorer, 100 penalty minute guy, could fight, probably the prototypical power forward. Nobody really ever got in his way, but Claude Lemieux could get under his skin like no other person. Last game I saw in the Boston Garden was Claude Lemieux turtled on the ice and Cam Neely dragging him around the ice in the fetal position, just pounding his face in.
All right, that is exactly what I'm looking for. If I'm not mistaken, and you might not know this, but I'm a movie nerd. Cam Neely is Seabass in Dumb and Dumber, correct?
kick his ass, Seabass.
There you go. All right, appreciate it. That was perfect. So Cam Neely, Claude Lemieux getting on there. These are exactly the answers I'm looking for. Greg in Hillsboro, you're up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. Greg, what is the greatest individual sports rivalry of all time?
This one has a more local flavor going back to the 80s and 90s, and it was Coach K and Dean Smith, and especially in the 80s when Coach K said games were being called one way for Carolina and another way for the rest of the league. Smith slamming the scoreboard, and then they battled each other for the next, 20 years, exchanging national.
Oh, we lost you. We lost you there for a bit, Greg, but great answer. We'll include it. I've been asking for follow-ups on most people, but Coach K and Dean Smith, I mean, let's be real, needs no further explanation, but it is definitely on the list. Thank you very much, Greg. Micah in Morrisville. I have a feeling this will probably be hockey, but we'll see. Micah, thank you very much for calling in. Give us your rivalry.
My rivalry is Ronaldo versus Messi, 100%.
Okay. Now, this one's going to be interesting as far as our theory here. What is it about that makes it such a great rivalry?
From 2008 to 2023, they were nominated, I believe, 13 times out of those 15 years as the best players in the world. And then they also were in the same, like, FC Barcelona versus Real Madrid. I'm not sure if you know, but those are the two best teams in Spain. And so that's a huge rivalry. El Clasico, arguably the best rivalry in the world also. And then the two best soccer players ever, not including Pele, facing off. It's just, like, insane. Like, scenes, it's crazy. But, yeah, that would be mine.
Are they friends, do you know?
Now they are. They definitely – I mean, I don't know if they're friends. I don't know if I can admit that. But they did not like each other. But they would always have to sit next to each other at these best player of the world ceremonies. So I don't know.
Okay. All right, Michael. We'll add it to the list. It'll be a part of the study here. Appreciate the call. Is this Leanna? I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. Leanna?
Yes, we have Leanna and Raleigh.
Leanna and Raleigh, you are on the air. Go ahead and give us your individual rivalries. Thanks for calling.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I'm going to get the ladies in on this and say the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus.
Serena versus Venus, you're saying, as the rivalry?
Yeah.
I love that as an answer. And if Serena's going to have a rivalry, right? Some people tried to force like Sharapova and stuff, but really Venus was the only one that beat her at a decent clip, at least early on, and then Serena.
Yeah, and you add in the whole sibling rivalry, that just takes it to another level.
Yeah.
I mean, I have younger sisters, and we all did the same sport, and I know how hard it is wanting your sister to do well, but then definitely not wanting the younger one to beat you. And I think that adds a whole new level to it. They dominated for so long.
Thank you very much, Leanna. That'll be added to the list. Fantastic answer. We'll keep it rolling for a few more here. We have Todd in Durham. Todd, thank you very much for calling in. What is your greatest individual rivalry?
Well, growing up in the country and being a huge NASCAR fan, I'm taking way back in the day to Kel Yarborough and Donnie Allison.
Yarborough versus Allison.
Yep. Kel Yarborough was the first one to win the double, the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600.
Okay.
And in the same year. But, both Allisons, Donnie and Bobby, were, we don't care, we're going to wreck you if we can wreck you to win. That led to Kel Yarborough taking off his helmet and throwing it at Donnie Allison's car as he drove by.
All right. That is perfect. So Yarborough was the one that threw the helmet?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. This was Todd, right? Thank you very much, Todd.
Yes.
Beautiful. We'll if you're on the line now, we'll finish it out because I got to get to making my point here. But I'm excited for it. David in Four Oaks. David in Four Oaks, you are up next. Go ahead and let us know your individual rivalry.
I just have to throw this out there. I can't forget it. Ali Frazier.
Ali Frazier, love it. That is already on our list, but it's nice to know that probably one of, if not the greatest rivalry, did get a double call. So thank you very much, David. Jeff and Raleigh, you are up next. Jeff, what is the greatest individual rivalry of all time?
Yeah, I was going with Frazier. I was going with Earnhardt and Gordon. I was going with the Allison Cal Yarborough fight, but okay. I'm going to go with another one that's kind of a stretch, but I think you being the movie guy can make this happen. I'm going to say Rocky and Drago because
all right,
because he killed the Carl Weathers.
Yeah, he killed Apollo Creed. Not killed him in the ring. All right, you know what? It wasn't what I was expecting, but I can't say it's a bad answer. Go ahead and.
Let me just add one real quick one, but it'll be a one-liner. I also wanted to add Hagler and Duran for the simple fact it was pay-per-view, and I was in college at the time and working at a pizza shop and was stupid enough to climb up on the cable wire and tried to get us able to watch it at the shop, but no such luck.
All right, I appreciate the call very much, and thank you for the image there. Hagler Duran, that is no joke. We have Dave in Durham, last one. Dave in Durham, you are the final entry here. What is the greatest individual rivalry of all time?
Well, I got one considering it's home run derby night tonight. I'm surprised nobody's called about this. What about 1961? Roger Maris, Mickey Mantle chasing Babe Ruth. They were on the same team. I don't know if you call it a rivalry, but
okay.
What about that?
I like it as an entry. It's interesting you phrase it as you don't know if you call it a rivalry. Is that just like a chase or is it a rivalry?
Well, were they rivals? They were asked about that in interviews, and they sort of hemmed around it that, they may be, they won't, but I just thought it was interesting since it's Derby night.
All right, I appreciate it, Dave. Thank you very much for the call. We'll add it to the list. Here's the point I'm trying to make here. We just opened up the phone lines. Any of you could have. I feel like I'm the magician now, right? Like I could have picked any card. I could have taken any of your suggestions from the audience. You called in. We did not turn away a caller for 20 minutes. Okay. We received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 rivalries. And I would even I'm not sure I consider, and the caller kind of opened the door for this. I'm not sure I would consider Maris Mantle a rivalry. I think that was a home run chase, but rivalry is kind of a different way to put it. So if we take 16 rivalries, the greatest of all time, one is active. One. Ronaldo, Messi, and I don't even know if that's active anymore, right? Because Messi's playing in the MLS. They're both on the backside of their career. If you don't consider Ronaldo, Messi active, every single one of the greatest rivalries is not going on. And do you know what else? All of them, and the reason why I was asking those follow-ups, all of them had something that made it personal, right? Ali Frazier, maybe the most personal rivalry of all time. Ali was going around saying, Joe Frazier's ugly. And that's not my words, that's his words, right? He was calling him names. He was saying he looked like things. Something like the Pacquiao-Marquez rivalry, which I was not well versed in. Turns out you had entire ethnic backgrounds arguing with it. It was Filipinos and Mexicans representing their favorite fighter going at it, according to the caller. You had the smack talk of McEnroe. You had Cam Neely dragged around Lemieux around the ice, pummeling him. This is what sports is missing, right? So the weekend, Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alvarez ended up in another Grand Slam final on the tennis court, and this time Sinner won, right? So now they're both two young, great tennis players. We're forcing it into a rivalry. The world is, now it's the next great rivalry. And I'm going, they're both great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying their greatness is being knocked, but I'm saying it doesn't have the other thing that makes rivalries great. What is every single one of those calls, right? I asked for something more, and there was another element, right? There was Jack versus Arnie. One had all the popularity. The other was the better golfer, right? So Jack probably a little jealous of Arnie. Arnie probably a little jealous of Jack for different reasons. Thus, it's a great rivalry. Sinner and Alvarez, they're just good. There's not that other thing. Petty and Earnhardt, old versus young. North Carolina, a state divided. Serena Venus, sibling rivalry. Coach K. Dean Smith. K was talking trash about the refs favoring UNC. That's going to bubble it up. Sinner's never insulted Alvarez. Alvarez has never said the line judge favors Sinner. Yarborough versus Allison. They threw a helmet at him. Hagler Durand. I mean, there's the whole no mas. There's a bunch of stuff going on there. Like, every single one had something else. We don't have this in sports right now. We're trying to force it. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, maybe. Eventually. I think it's still too fresh. I actually think we're putting too much onto that rather than letting it bubble up naturally. It's something that if sports doesn't have, you miss out on so many great performances. So many. I mean, could have answered any. LeBron, Steph, the Mahomes, Allen. Like, you could have said anything. Nobody said anything currently going on.
Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, great one. Tiger Phil, great one. All done. All in the past. Shaq Kobe, past.
What about Bill Russell versus Wilt Chamberlain?
Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, past. Right? There's a lot of great rivalries in history. I think we're missing it now, and we're almost forcing it because we want them, because we long for them. And I think there's got to be a little reason for distaste there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll continue having this conversation because you all helped prove one of my theories. But before we do that, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending is the home of the no-cost loan. No third-party fees. Zero means zero at Miller Lending. And because of that, you do have to make sure when you're shopping around for your mortgage, which, by the way, as a broker, Miller Lending can do for you, they'll go to 25, 30 different lenders and find the best rate for you so you don't have to. But as you shop around for your mortgage, as you call lenders, make sure you're doing the math correctly. Because somebody might say, our rates are lower than Miller's. You should come here. And you want to jump at it because, yeah, they are. Or maybe they're just a tad bit better. But consider, they're going to make you pay thousands of dollars in closing costs. Meanwhile, Miller won't. They have a no-cost loan. And thus, if you want to refinance a couple years from now, they're going to make you pay those closing costs again. Miller Lending won't. Right? If rates drop, refinance. No cost, no fees. Free to you. Right? All that money out of your pocket, keep it there. So the math is a little bit different, right? You want to make sure you account for all of that money that you don't have to pay in closing costs and closing fees when you're choosing which one to roll with. The number to call where they can give you more information and explain to you more about the no closing cost loan, 919-447-3377. That's Miller Lending, 919-447-3377, or visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, MLS number 250-2146. Why, as we move to the next topic, why are in-state football recruits almost unanimously not going to in-state colleges? We talked to Joel Bryant of High School OT coming up next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I know the hurricane season came to an end. Another year with a loss to Florida in the Eastern Conference Finals, 2 of the last 3. But it's been a great year, and it's going to be a great summer with all that cap room the Hurricanes have. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, from free agency to trades to the draft. We'll have player interviews, special sit-down with Rod Brindamore that he doesn't even know about yet. He'll do it, don't worry. Just stay tuned to the Canes Corner podcast on YouTube. Search Canes Corner and wherever you get your podcast.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. People are looking around their homes right now, and they're saying, I need this, I need this, I need this. You guys do everything for the exterior of your home. How do you keep it from being overwhelming for the homeowner?
Right, Adam. The first thing we do is we come out there, do an assessment with the homeowner. It's a no-obligation estimate, and we can break it up into phases of projects, or if you want to break it up into easy monthly payments, we come out there, give you a good plan. It's no pressure, no obligation, and whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, most of these projects we give you a lifetime warranty on for the rest of your time in the home. And then you can also break it up into easy monthly payments and make it manageable for your budget.
I love manageable. I love easy monthly payments. I love lifetime warranties. Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. These people are amazing. You should check them out online, aluminumcompany.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. 'Cause I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So I am a bit of it's one of my, I don't know if it's like a guilty pleasure. High school recruiting is fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. Where players choose to go, what the pitches are from coaches to like 5 stars. It's fascinating to me. So for that, I brought in an expert, if you will. We brought in Joel Bryant from HighSchoolOt, our colleague here at Capital Broadcasting, to talk about a phenomena that is occurring in high school recruiting in the state of North Carolina. So, Joel, we're gonna attack this. We talked earlier on the Adam Gold Show. We're gonna attack this from a different angle.
Okay.
Who are the best recruits in the state of North Carolina?
So this class, this rising senior class, 2026, it's probably the best class I've seen since I've been doing this. Since 2016, I've been doing this off and on. We have 20 total 4- and 5-star players just in the state alone. It's a very good class.
So where are they going to school, assuming that most of them have made commitments at this point, because it's kind of that point in the calendar?
So the player that most people know about is Faison Brandon, the quarterback out of Greensboro, going to Grimsley High School. 24/7 Sports has him as the #1 player in the country. He's going to Tennessee. Obviously, anytime you get a quarterback, in this state that's a 5-star player, #1 in the country in some sites, it's going to be hard to keep that player in state. So Tennessee's going to be a good fit for him, especially with that vertical passing offense they have. Just an incredible arm, an unbelievable arm he has.
So the question then becomes, right? As a fan, I always say it's just good for sports in the region if all the teams are good. Right? I don't pretend to be I get accused of being a homer for one school over the other and then the other school over the other all the time. But I genuinely root for all of the local teams because I think it's more fun if they're all good, right? I want them to win every game and go into these rivalry games with just all the sizzle in the world. Why aren't players like Faison? Why aren't players, the 4 and 5 stars for the most part? Why aren't they going to local schools? Well, what about North Carolina or State or Duke or Wake or any of the schools that are here within our state boundaries? What don't they provide that Tennessee or Notre Dame or Clemson or wherever these other schools that they're going is providing?
So I think it's that national visibility that you get with these SEC schools. You get with Notre Dame, Oregon, which has a 5-star commit from our state. It's kind of its own kind of brand. They have these national brands. They play on national TV every week. Mm-hmm. They play in the college football playoff. A lot of these guys, when you're coming out of high school, their number one goal is go to the NFL. Before that kind of reality is going to set in for some of them, that's probably going to be a likely thing for some of them. They all think they're going to the NFL, so they want the best chance they can have to kind of be seen by NFL people and, go on to the next level. Then also there's that NIL aspect. There's a lot of, pretty well-established programs, and that's pretty much all these people do. Tennessee, they're just a big football fan experience. They have a lot of money coming in from multiple different avenues, and I think that they're a little bit further ahead in that kind of stuff. And I think that the general thing with the local schools is we have a couple of new coaches. Obviously, Bill Belichick just got here. Manny Diaz is still kind of new to Duke. So there's some kind of transition going on here locally. It's kind of hard to have those relationships if they're new here.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be a 4-year project to get one of these top players, and it's just going to be hard if you're coming in late to the game like this.
So Belichick to me is fascinating, right? If you're talking about the main priorities getting to the NFL, is and I know you're more connected in the high school football world than I am. It's obvious that the whole we're the 33rd NFL team hasn't maybe, I don't know, transitioned or been sold as well as I think I thought it would. Are teams and high school players not looking at Belichick as the direct path to the NFL? Because, I mean, he's quite frankly, he might be the best NFL coach of all time. And if your dream is to get to the NFL, that logic just kind of connects for me.
I think some of them do, and then some of them, just don't, frankly.
Yeah.
If you think about it, the last time that, Belichick was really, winning all the Super Bowls was what? What was the last one? 2018?
Somewhere around there, yeah, because the 2021 was Brady in Tampa.
Some of these kids were still, maybe in middle school or entering middle school by that time. It's kind of crazy how long ago that was.
But he's won more Super Bowls that they remember than Josh Heupel at Tennessee.
Right. Yeah, right.
I remember Josh Heupel as the player, but they don't, right? That's a different beast.
I think overall that pathway to the NFL kind of tagline they have for themselves, I think that will pan out overall. It's just going to take some time. Like I was saying, all these kids, they've already had all their relationships with all the coaches and everything. It's gonna be a process to kind of get that going here.
So I did this earlier where I said, I'm going to play a character here. We're talking with Joel Bryant, High School OT. I'm going to play the character of an NC State Wolfpack fan now.
Okay.
And say, okay, all of those reasons about being a new coach and not having the long-term relationship with players, and that's why you aren't getting the top in-state recruits, that works for Belichick. That works for Diaz. That doesn't work for Dave Doran. He's been around for quite some time. Is it a different problem to address for state that the in-state recruits aren't the top? By the way, they are getting in-state recruits, just not the super big blue chippers. Is it a different problem for NC State as to why they're not getting those top guys versus maybe the newness of UNC and Duke's coaching staff?
We'll say for state, the whole kind of feeling of that program is they're just hard workers. They're going to get all these guys better from when they get into the program to when they leave. They had that stretch, 2018, 2019, when they had all the 4-star players coming in, Drake Thomas, Peyton Wilson, Ricky Person. So they had some success with these 4-star guys in state. But since then, they've been kind of prioritizing the 3-star types, guys that they believe in the character with. They believe in the working character of the player. They believe that they can get the most out of this guy over the next 4 years or whatever it is now, 4 or 5 years now. So they kind of do things their own way. I think they've had success with that. I know that, a lot of these guys here on this list, all these 5-star, 4-star players, they were involved early, but it gets to a point when, Alabama comes in and Georgia comes in and Tennessee comes in where it's just naturally, it's going to be hard for them to keep up. So I know, Faison Brandon, I think NC State was probably his favorite program when he was a sophomore, and then he just kind of blew up after the fact. So stuff like that's going to happen.
How big, and I've tried, so I know how difficult it is. People are so reluctant to talk about NIL, but it is just this giant shadow being cast. How much of it, quite frankly, is just other schools have budgets that are too big for the in-state schools to compete with, so grabbing the 3 stars that you can afford is the best you can kind of hope for because the 4 stars are going to places that just have more cash?
Yeah, it's got to be a part of it. I mean, we obviously aren't going to know the actual figures these kids are getting, nor should they really be sharing that with anyone. It's kind of their personal business. But obviously, it has to be a part of it. I mean, these schools, Oregon is one. There's a lot of money out there at Oregon. these places like Notre Dame, Tennessee, all these SEC schools, you just know, like, without like knowing officially, you just know that they have it there. So it has to be a part of it.
Are those the culprits? Like, who are the teams that are coming in and taking our guys, which is a messed up way to say getting the top recruits from North Carolina?
So in this class, I'll just kind of run through it. So South Carolina they have 3 4-star defensive linemen from this state.
Like, that one's frustrating to me.
That is frustrating.
Like, if I mean, maybe South Carolina does just have that kind of cash, but like if Notre Dame or Oregon, like or Alabama come in, I kind of get it. South Carolina, like, you can't compete with South Carolina in dollars and cents. That one's frustrating.
Yeah, that one's frustrating. Clemson, they've always done well here. Tennessee's been doing really well. I mean, obviously with Faison Brandon coming back, they have guys every year
pockets.
from the top. Yeah, from the top level of this state. But yeah, that South Carolina one's kind of interesting, kind of frustrating. Notre Dame is crushing it. I mean, they have so many guys. We have a 5-star edge rusher, Rodney Dunham from Charlotte. They have him. They have Thomas Davis Jr., obviously the son of Thomas Davis, former Panthers player. He's going there. Ebenezer Ewatade, he's an edge from South Garner here. He's going there. He's a top 100 player. So Notre Dame's doing really well. Texas just got a corner from outside Charlotte. So it's a good mixture. But yeah, that South Carolina one's interesting, especially the fact that, their defensive linemen, that's kind of what the state's been known for, is really our defensive lineman output.
Joel, we appreciate it. I'm not sure. I don't know if I liked everything you just told us, but I appreciate you for passing along the information. Yep. That's Joel Bryant, High School OT. Let me get this right. It's HighSchoolOt.com, right? Is where you want to send everybody. Anything else you want everybody to know?
Yeah, High School OT on Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram. We're pretty much everywhere, so just follow High School OT, and there's a lot of news coming out pretty much every day.
And that's not, obviously, we just focus a lot on football, but that's all sports in high school.
It's all sports, yeah.
So whatever you're interested in, HighSchoolOT.com is the place. Appreciate it, Joel.
Yeah.
We have the starting 5 coming up next. Speaking of Alabama, we'll talk a little Bryce Young. Don't go anywhere.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Are you struggling with that high interest debt? Maybe you're even maxed out on those credit cards. You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a massive turnaround. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Here's the thing, folks. Your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. And Loan Pronto is A+ rated by the BBB and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. So call now to get the conversation started. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Panthers training camp is almost here, and it's finally time, Panthers fans. Go all out to win. The years prior to this, it's about draft picks. It's about playing the younger guys, making sure they get their experience, maybe even above winning games. But this year, all of that changes. Dave Canales, Bryce Young, it's time to win.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Black isn't just a color. It's the presence
of infinite possibilities. It's the moment before everything changes. An invitation to something unforgettable.
I won.
Win up to $4 million with Carolina Black Premier from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Watch out for slow-moving showers and storms dumping heavy rainfall. 74 the low. And these storms could last past midnight. A 50-50 shot at storms tomorrow afternoon and into the evening. The high temperature about 91.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money at the closing bell. Dow Jones closes today up 88 points at 44,459. Market update brought to you by Bolton Construction Services. Bolton is actively hiring experienced HVAC techs with a $2,500 sign-on bonus. As a family-owned leader in HVAC, Bolton puts people first. Don't miss out. Apply now at boltonservice.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Young, out of the pocket, on the move. Young's going to run for it, and then some. Touchdown, Panthers. Monster day for Bryce Young.
So Bryce Young had a monster day to end the season last year. Turns out wasn't enough to convince the coaches, executives, scouts that were pulled by ESPN that he should be a top 10 quarterback or a top 12 quarterback or a top 15 quarterback or a top 18 quarterback. Matter of fact, we don't know how far down he is on the list because he didn't make the list. ESPN pulls front office executives, scouts, coaches about who the top 10 at each position are, and they reveal them one day by day, different position each day. Quarterbacks was revealed today. Bryce Young was not in the top 10. Bryce Young was not in the top 12 because they had the top 10, then they had 2 honorable mention. Then they had 6 also receiving votes. He was not in that list either. So he's not in the top 18 quarterbacks, according to those that professionally judge football talent as their career. Let's see if his teammate agrees. Adam Thielen, he was on the Stugatz pod. Is that what I'm saying? He was on with Stugatz. And he was asked, should people be high on Bryce Young this season? Here's Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't still be playing football if
really?
It was if that wasn't the case. So obviously I have a lot of belief.
You believe in him that much?
Oh
huh?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you saying you would have retired if you didn't see the potential of Bryce Young?
For sure.
Wow.
Yeah. I think having that way he finished last year, his confidence, his mindset, the way that he led in the locker room, and then that paired with the leadership in the organization and where this organization has gone since I got here, it's hard to not want to be a part of that.
Right.
Great leadership, great communication, and just a lot of people that are like-minded. They got that dog mentality, but also at the same time, great leaders and great teammates. So kind of just that all combined makes me really excited to be back.
That's what a teammate's supposed to say. It's 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 also projection, right? It's what he will do. What he has done is not good enough to put him anywhere near a top 10 list. And he stepped up at the end of last year. I agree. Stepped up. That doesn't erase the previous year and a half. Doesn't even get you back to neutral. Bryce has the potential to be a really good quarterback moving forward. Potential is a dangerous word. I don't have a problem with him not being in the top 18. We'll talk to end the show today about what he might have to do to be in the top 16 next year. But for right now, he's not quite there yet. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Another payoff. And he locked him up for strike 3. Front door slider. 8 strikeouts for Miserowski in 5 scoreless innings.
That is All-Star Jacob Miserowski. And if you're out there saying, who? Yeah, that's kind of the deal. Jacob Miserowski has been selected as an All-Star in Major League Baseball. All-Star game, what is it, tomorrow? He has 5 career starts. 5. He's a starting pitcher. 5 career starts. I need to, there's some things. Listen, the funny part is everybody's mad at All-Star games right now, right? Pro Bowls, NBA All-Star game. Everybody hates them, be it for a bunch of different reasons. Actually, for one reason, right? They don't really entertain anybody anymore. Baseball is probably the best singular All-Star game. Four Nations Cup was awesome, but that's a different beast, right? That's not really an all-star game. That's a whole thing. Baseball is pretty good. Home Run Derby is still exciting, especially for the youngsters. Like, that's still there. I hate Miserowski being included in the All-Star game. And not because anything Miserowski's done. They call him the Miz. Not because of anything the Miz has done. All the Miz has done is, since he got called up, he's been an electric pitcher. Right? 89 pitches of at least 100 miles an hour, 33 strikeouts and 25 2/3 innings pitched. He's been really good, but he hasn't earned his way into the All-Star game. And I am, for no reason other than I'm very competitive, I'm kind of a stickler for things that will eventually establish who was better being treated with almost sacred importance. At the end of a career, when we are discussing legacies, right, which is something sports radio really loves to do, we count All-Star games. Albert Pujols, 11-time All-Star. Miguel Cabrera, 12-time All-Star. Right? We count those. How many times is LeBron? How many times is Kobe? How many times are they All-Stars? We talk All-Stars. They've been, It's one of those things that we count towards Hall of Fame legitimacy when we're debating candidates. It's one of those things that you're introduced as. Like, if I talk to a former player on one of these shows, when I'm introducing them, hey, we are joined by 4-time All-Star so-and-so, 3-time All-Star Matt Holliday. I'm just naming guys. Like, that becomes part of your legacy. So because of that, it has to be earned. It has to be deserving. It has to be as deserving as you can, right? You're never going to get it perfect, but because you're just people in a room making selections. But 5 starts ain't enough. Baseball is a big sample size sport, right? When somebody starts 3 weeks and they're batting 200, we go, all right, give him time, right? He's a 300 hitter. He'll bounce back. Because of that, you can't take it. Like, also, if somebody starts, baseball is also the king of the pace for stats, right? After a month, so-and-so was on pace for 95 home runs. And we go, that's not going to happen. But we're kind of doing that with Miserowski. After 5 starts, he's on pace for, he should be an all-star. Wait, no, you got to do more to find out if it's going to work or not. So there's 2 options here. One, you protect the all-star game and the selections as if they are sacred, and you make sure that the replacements are picked as the next most deserving rather than the next most entertaining. Or you make it very clear that all-star game selections are not to be taken as a measure of value. Meaning, if you're a 10-time All-Star, that does not mean you're better than a 7-time All-Star. That means you were more entertaining, you were a bigger brand, you would draw more fans. That's what they were picking. I'm fine with that too. But you got to make it obvious. Then, as a league, you should ban all-star game selections being part of incentives and contracts. Because imagine you're somebody, you get like, I don't know, $500,000 if you're an all-star. You played well enough to be an all-star, but they picked Jacob Miserowski over you because he's more entertaining and is going to draw more fans to the game. You just got gypped. You got robbed out of $500,000 because you were deserving. You were the better player, right? And if you're not going to pick based on merit, eliminate those. Make those illegal. Can't have them in contracts. Or even more, if you want to solve problems with even more creative solutions, you put out 2 lists. 1, these are the best players. These are the all-stars. Deserving, statistical, performance. And then you put out a different list. These are the players that will be playing in the all-star game. There will be some overlap, but then you're going to include the Miserowskis. You're going to include, if there's a superstar that was injured for a bulk of the early part of the season, they can still play, because that's about building fans. That's about growing the game, growing the sport. You want eyeballs on the All-Star game? These are the players that are going to be in the All-Star game. Do that, and then guess what? The list of deserving All-Stars is more important than being chosen for the game. I get very frustrated. Like when Pro Bowls, when 17 quarterbacks turn down going to the Pro Bowl, and then, Jameis Winston is the replacement that says yes, and then we act like, oh, Pro Bowl quarterback Jameis Winston, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, that is the outside element, is that several other guys were asked to replace him, and all of them said no.
The only reason that I'm, by the way, like every other starter said no, Miserowski got called, that's one thing. The Philadelphia Phillies were heated. And they have a couple of pitchers that are significantly more deserving of being an all-star than Miserowski. And it was very obvious from the way that team reacted that they did not turn it down. They were upset that Miserowski was going. And you can go check those comments. There's multiple words used that I can't say on radio. We would use bleeps in that scenario. So you can go check those for yourself. But yeah, that guy... Maybe he'll be a 10-time All-Star. Shouldn't have been this year. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Both of those moves hard for another big to keep him in front.
And here's Flagg on the break, punching it home. Welcome to the league, Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg. Well, welcome to Summer League. Cooper Flagg might have been the appropriate term there. And goodbye to Summer League may have been the appropriate term. Cooper Flagg, 2 games with the Dallas Mavericks in Summer League. They've shut him down. They will not be playing him. I believe Chris Haynes had it first. They will not be playing him for the rest of Summer League. Andre Snelling of ESPN was asked if Cooper showed enough to justify that move.
Cooper showed everything. If anybody was needed to see something, he showed it in this Summer League. In the first game, his shot was off, but he did everything else. He was rebounding. He was running point guard. He made the game-saving block shot. He was just kind of everywhere. And then this last game, he didn't necessarily do as much all around, but he dropped 31 points. He was scoring from everywhere. His shot was on, and he also had another big block shot and then dunk at the other end combo. So, I think they saw what they needed to see from him.
Listen, they didn't need to see anything from Cooper Flagg. The reason you play a prospect like Cooper Flagg in Summer League isn't to see if his game translates. It's not like, well, let's give him an opportunity to show us that he knows where to go with the basketball or that he can dunk in transition. The reason you play somebody like Cooper Flagg in Summer League is if you feel it would benefit him to get a feel for it, right? You're just doing it so he can get the experience of it. You're not judging stats. You're not looking for certain plays. If he didn't have those dunks, if he didn't have that block, if he didn't score 31, they're not suddenly going to play him, 35 minutes in the next Summer League. Like, it wasn't that kind of way. It was, hey, if we can knock off some of the first game jitters in Summer League rather than in the first NBA preseason game, let's do that. He's a really good player. He's going to be a really good player. I think they actually used him in some confusing ways in Summer League, treating him as if he's a volume scorer. But maybe it was just an experiment. Maybe it was just, hey, let's see. Because it's just Summer League, and it's wholly inconsequential. What number was that? 3? Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
Oh, yes. Teddy Bridgewater suspension. There are few things that I support as much as youth sports and those genuine good people that contribute to youth sports. If you are a good youth sports coach or a good youth sports league official that spends the time with the uniforms and getting the helmet certified and like doing all the stuff that makes it possible for kids like age 4 up through high schoolers to have the positive experiences that youth sports can provide, I give you all of the applause in the world. If you are somebody in that industry, in that world, that does things for the wrong reasons, that you're like a high school coach because you like being able to boss people around and yell and scream and you're on a power trip, if you're somebody that is trying to capture or relive some glory days and you're not making it fun for the individuals or you're not looking to help the young kids, I've got problems with you, which makes this next story very frustrating for me. Teddy Bridgewater, yes, that Teddy Bridgewater, former Panther quarterback, journeyman in the NFL, first-round pick of the Vikings, 10-year NFL vet, was the head coach at his high school. He went back and he was given back. Miami Northwestern. They won a state title. He, reportedly, this is the reports coming out, Rivals.com had it, Yahoo had it, he reportedly had spent $200,000 of his own money on the kids. We're talking pregame meals. We're talking Uber rides to and from practice for those that didn't have transportation. We're talking aids in their recovery, right? So he had, a recovery truck, which I assume was, cold tubs and all of that, showing up after certain practices in order to help the kids recover. He was putting his own. He brought them gear, custom gear, so they could wear it and be proud of the team that they're on. Then they went and won a state title. That's pretty big in Florida. That's difficult. Then, earlier this month, he put out a Facebook post saying, hey, supporters of our program, I do all of these things for the kids, the meals, the transportation, cost some cash. If you have the funds and you feel like you can, you could help donate and support that so I don't have to pay for it all myself. $200,000. I don't care that he made $60 million in the NFL. $200,000 is a lot of money. You can't just light that on fire every year to help your program. That post on Facebook tipped off some people at the Florida High School Sports Athletic Association. He is now under fire. The program is now under fire. They've technically suspended him, although he has clarified that he had already resigned from being a head coach. So you can't suspend somebody that's not your employee. But he's suspended from the school, and they're worried about things like fines. I guess another school that's been caught up with Uber rides and free meals for the players has been fined $36,000 and given a 2-year postseason ban. I want to be clear. I'm never an advocate for breaking the rules, okay? And if there are rules in place and you broke them, you got to deal with it. I am also a massive fan, maybe the number one fan. I should run the fan club of common sense. Here's the common sense thing to do. You take the guy that was spending $200,000 of his own money to help high school athletes have a better experience, and you work with him. And you say, listen, the rules say you can't do this. I know your heart was in the right place. You're obviously somebody that cares about the experience of these young men. Let's work together to find a way where you can continue to impact these lives in a positive way as a head coach and a supporter that also technically falls within the rules. Right? Let's set up an endowment where your cash can go towards the school and the school can pay for certain things that make the kids better. Or you can, it's NIL, right? NIL, I don't know if it's legal in Florida for high schoolers. I know in a lot of places it is. Let's set up an NIL with a restaurant so they can provide it and you can do an endorsement with the players. Let's work together. I am a huge fan of helping young athletes. And apparently so is Teddy Bridgewater, and he's being dragged through the mud publicly for it. Teddy B made $31 million from the Carolina Panthers alone. If he wants to spend all $31 million, because he made 65, right? So he wouldn't be hurting even without that. If he wants to spend every dime the Carolina Panthers gave him to help youth athletes at his high school and at his youth programs, I am definitely not putting in a rule that says he can't do it, which I guess is what the Florida High School Sports Athletic Association is doing. Ridiculous. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
Here is Hansbrough, missed the free throw, went back up for the shot, and then gets taken down.
He got punched in the face by Gerald Henderson.
Intentional foul, and Tyler's nose is bloody.
I mean, he got punched with a balled-up fist in the face.
That is from one of the greatest team rivalries of all time, Duke, North Carolina basketball. Earlier today, actually, you know what? Let me take a step back. Over the weekend, I heard an acceleration of how we talk about Yannick Sinner versus Carlos Alcaraz, who are the two kind of best tennis players in the world right now. They matched up in a Grand Slam final, the Wimbledon final. Sinner won. And you would have thought that happened. You would have thought the Gerald Henderson smack of Tyler Hansbrough happened. The way they're like, this is now the greatest rivalry in modern tennis. This takes the baton from legends like Borg and McEnroe and Agassi and Sampras. This is now, and I'm going like, whoa. No. They're two great players, like those previous guys I mentioned, but they don't have the other thing. Individual rivalries, when we're talking people, there needs to be more than just they were great at the same time. And earlier today, for our Monday Sound Off, we opened up the phone lines for like 20 minutes. And I challenged all of our listeners to call in with their favorite, the greatest individual sports rivalries of all time. And we received 17 rivalries, taking calls consecutively. One more was passed to me on Twitter, Agassi Sampras. And every single one of them, aside from Ronaldo and Messi, one was in the past, like the players weren't still active, and Ronaldo and Messi kind of in the past, right? Even the caller, I asked why that was such a good rivalry to them. They said from 2008 to 2023, they won like 13 of the 15 best player in the world awards. So even the caller, the reasoning was kind of all in the past. And every single rivalry had something else. There was an inciting moment. There was a fight. There was a helmet thrown. There was a dropping of the gloves in hockey and dragging them around. There was a wreck in NASCAR. There was something personality, right? There was like Agassi and Sampras. I don't know if they liked or disliked each other, but I know they could not be more different people. Sampras, buttoned up, right? Quiet. Agassi, brash. The headbands, the long hair, the tabloids, right? Like it was all different. Serena versus Venus had the sibling thing. Ali Frazier had just blatant insults during the entire media lead up. Like all of them had extras. This is my old man take, okay? And I admit when I'm talking like an old man, this might be my most old man take, and I don't think I'm ever going to get off it. We don't have any good individual rivalries right now. It's something that we are dramatically missing in sports. And it's like the spice, right? I mean, it's a little bit of seasoning. It doesn't make the meal bad. It doesn't, but it could be better if we had a little bit of the narratives that come with these rivalries. Magic Bird, right? The social distinct there. The Boston versus LA mixed in with the players, mixed in with they played each other in college, mixed in with so much more. The way they played, Showtime versus hard working, whatever you want to call it. We don't have those right now. And to me, it takes two things. One, they both have to be great. Two, there has to be something else that makes it pop, some other kind of storyline. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are getting close, but I feel like we're forcing that even. Right? Angel Reese got a national championship in college. I don't believe Caitlin Clark has won any kind of championship. Neither of them have done it at the WNBA level yet. Sinner and Alcaraz, they're great players. They have that, but they don't have anything else. They respect each other. They seem to like each other. They seem to talk well of each other. And with all of that, it's like, how do you pick a side? If you're not, I don't like, are you a Sinner fan or an Alcaraz fan, and why is a great question. There's been no accusations, right? Somebody brought up Coach K and Dean Smith as a great individual rivalry. Coach K was darn near immediately accusing the refs of favoring Dean Smith. Has anybody done that in any of the current rivalries? And by the way, I thought I might be missing something, which is why I did have everybody call in, which is why I did a bunch of Googling today. And I Googled best individual current rivalries, right? And you have to scroll through a bunch of nonsense. You get to a couple lists. Do you know what the current rivalries that they're touting are?
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen.
That's not a rivalry. They're buddies. There's first of all, Josh Allen has never beat Patrick Mahomes in the postseason.
Right.
Mahomes has 3 Super Bowls. Allen has no Super Bowl appearances. Like, you both have to be at the peak. Magic and Bird doesn't work if Magic has 5 titles and Bird has 0.
LeBron versus Steph, that's one that I saw.
They're friends. By the way, I think I'm right on this. Although if I'm wrong, I'm going to pretend like I didn't say it. LeBron and Steph have faced off in the finals more than Magic and Bird. But guess what? It doesn't have the same hate. It doesn't have the same extra. It's just 2 guys that play basketball against each other. Ovechkin Crosby is listed everywhere. They're not. They are rivals in that they are fighting for who's the best of an era. They are not rivals like Earnhardt and Gordon, who were wrecking each other. I'm looking at the list of what the callers gave us. Like Jack and Arnie, who were 2 so very different personalities. Like Ali Frazier, like McEnroe Borg, like Shaq and Kobe. Shaq and Kobe was such a personal rivalry after they departed L.A. together that the next year they played against each other. Shaq with the Heat, Kobe with the Lakers. They played against each other on Christmas. It was a national watch of what they were going to do before the tip. Are they going to shake hands? Are they going to fist bump? They were that icy as individuals. Go look up. I can't even say it on air. Go look up a freestyle rap by Shaq that he was saying towards Kobe, asking him how a particular body part tastes. And he said it over and over and over again. These were real rivalries with real stories. We don't have that in college. We don't have that in sports right now. I need somebody to dislike somebody. And I'm not talking about like personally. You don't got to go, I don't want, I'm not advocating for Tanya Harding to happen here, right? I don't want that to spread. But in the field of competition, it's okay to not like the people you're playing against. You don't have to be best friends. I sound very old, and I get that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Maybe we'll have a rivalry of numbers game contestants. Maybe they won't like each other. Maybe they will. The prize for today, numbers game. As we get ready to grab contestants here. Outlaw Music Festival tickets. A pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 27th. Outlaw Music Festival, Coastal Credit Union Music Park, July 27th. If you want the tickets, you got to play the numbers game. If you want to play the numbers game, you got to call in now. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in now for your chance to play the numbers game. We need 2 contestants. It's coming up next.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. As a motorcycle rider, there's always an inherent risk when you're out there on the road. You don't have 4 walls and airbags to surround you if you're in an accident, but you do have protection for you in case you are injured in a motorcycle accident, and that's where Law Tigers comes in. Law Tigers, they are there for the motorcycle rider. They are part of the motorcycle riding community. They're riders too, so they know what your bike is worth, your gear is worth, but most importantly, they know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, give Law Tigers a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Do that even before you contact the insurance company. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody in Duke's starting five that made the Final Four got drafted. 3 of them in the top 10. Cooper Flagg 1, Con Knipple 4, Kamon Malawach went 10. Sion James and Tyrese Proctor also drafted. And I keep hearing, how did they not win the title? How did they not even make it to Monday night? Carolina had Jameson and Carter and didn't make it to the championship game 2 years in a row. It's sports.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From Sound Station and Security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake just tooling around. All available with installation from Sound Station and Security with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream, now available at Wegmans.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And as always, we have 2 contestants on the line. Actually, first of all, let me tell you the prize. The prize going to the winner, Outlaw Music Festival tickets, a pair of tickets to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Sunday, July 27th, is going to the winner. So, the contestants for today, Spencer and Carrie and Casey in Wake Forest. I will ask them each the same question, and our judge for the day, Graham Hill, our producer, will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Spencer and Carrie. Spencer, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. The question for today is the same question we've been asking all day. What is the greatest individual sports rivalry? It has to be 2 people. We're not talking teams. We're talking people. What's the greatest individual rivalry in sports history?
Sports history. I'm just going to go with the first one that came to mind, maybe like Ali Frazier.
Okay. Graham, do you have any follow-up questions?
No, pretty straightforward.
All right, Spencer, you are locked in with Ali Frazier. We'll go to Casey in Wake Forest. Casey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, same question to you. What is the greatest individual sports rivalry of all time? We're talking 2 people, not 2 teams.
Individual, I'm going to go Tiger and Phil.
Tiger and Phil. That's two solid answers, Graham. I don't know how you're going to choose, but you have to.
I think I'm going to have to go with Casey with Tiger and Phil just because Otley and Frazier was used earlier in our Monday Soundoff. Nothing wrong with it, but I feel like Tiger and Phil was – nobody said Tiger and Phil earlier, right?
Nobody said Tiger and Phil.
Yeah, so we're going with Casey and Wake Forest for that answer.
Yeah, we had Arnie and Jack. We didn't have Tiger and Phil. All right, so Casey gets to go first. Spencer, don't worry. You'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a second or two. Casey, are you ready to pick a category? Casey, are you there? There you go. Are you ready?
I'm here.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. Are you ready to pick a category?
I'm ready.
All right, the categories are NFL players who broke their arm, like actually their arm for real. They broke their arm in a game. NFL players who broke a leg in a game. NBA players with at least 450 double-doubles, or NHL players Hurricanes only.
I'll do NFL leg, I guess.
All right. I hope you break a leg.
Leg.
There you go. NFL players who broke a leg in a game. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit Lions.
97.
Correct. Joe Theismann, Washington Redskins.
7.
Correct. Alex Smith, Washington Redskins.
11.
Correct. E.J. Henderson, Minnesota Vikings.
I got no idea. 28.
Incorrect. Leon Washington, Tennessee Titans.
29.
Correct. E.J. Henderson, Minnesota Vikings.
21.
Incorrect. E.J. Henderson, Minnesota Vikings.
22.
Incorrect. E.J. Henderson, Minnesota Vikings.
81.
Incorrect. E.J. Henderson. Just for giggles, give us one more to see if you would have had it on the next one.
82.
Incorrect, so you don't have to worry about it. No keeping you up at night. Henderson, we were looking for 56. That's what we were looking for. But 4 out of 5 is pretty darn good. That is a solid score to start the week. For those of you playing at home, Leon Washington, we would have accepted 29, as the caller gave us, or 26. He's worn both with Tennessee. But you got all the rest, and Henderson, we were looking for 56. Casey gets 4 out of 5. Now it is time for Spencer and Carey. Spencer, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Perfect. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players who broke their arm in an NFL game, NBA players with at least 450 double-doubles in their career, or NHL Hurricanes only.
I'm going to go with Hurricanes only.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. In this category, even though we know the team, it's Hurricanes only, I will still say it just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other contenders. And you need all 5 for the win, but you have the entire clock to do it. Any questions before we jump in?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
84.
Incorrect. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes.
76.
Incorrect. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
86.
Incorrect. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Darren Langdon, Carolina Hurricanes.
36.
Incorrect. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
26.
Incorrect. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes. Well, you didn't get any, Spencer, but I will say you had an unusual cadence. It felt like you knew all of them, and you weren't particularly close, which is it felt like you were like, oh, I know this one, 86, and it wasn't close. So it was an interesting kind of experience for me. So even though you came up 0 at least it was a little different. For those of you playing at home, Jackson Blake 53, Pyotr Kochetkov 52 is what I know him as. He also has worn number 90, so we would have accepted either. And Darren Langdon, number 20, what we were looking for. As I said, Spencer, unfortunately, not enough to win, but hopefully you had some fun. And that means Casey and Wake Forest is the winner. Casey, congratulations.
Thank you.
4 out of 5, enough to get it done. And that means you are going to Outlaw Music Festival. So congrats.
Thank you. It's my brother-in-law's birthday. He's a big Willie Nelson fan, so I'll be giving it to him.
There you go. That's it's all perfect. Go ahead and stay on the line, and Graham will take the info he needs to make sure you do get those tickets. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's pretty darn good. And just to add to the good news, Tim Donnelly here for Manor Service Company. Yeah, birthdays, graduations, holidays. These are all times where you might have a bunch of people at your house. And when you have a bunch of people at your house, you know what you don't want to have happen? Your heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric have any kind of an issue, right? But if you do have an issue, the next best thing is to have it solved quickly. Manor Service Company, that's where they come in. 24/7 service all across the triangle, which means, right, when the plumbing issue pops up and you got 20 people at your house and you got dinner going and you need it solved quickly, they're the number to call. There's a saying that I use, which is, well, for as bad as that went, it went pretty well. And what that means is, right, if you blow a tire on the highway, but you're able to get it fixed quickly, you have the donut, right, the small tire right out there, you get it fixed, you get it back on, you drive it right to the tire place, they fix it quickly, you're back up and running by the end of the afternoon. It's like, well, that went pretty bad, but for as bad as that went pretty well. Manor Service Company is good at that. For as bad as that went, it went pretty well, right? You have an electric problem, you have a plumbing problem, all right, that's not great, right? Things are not going well. But Manor Service Company shows up with professional, friendly, well-educated as far as how to handle all of the apparatuses within your house, a technician that shows up and gets it done quickly. Well, for as bad as that went, it went pretty well. Thank goodness you called Manor Service Company. The number to call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. For when things are going bad, if you want them to go well, check out Manor Service Company. You can visit them online as well, ManorServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. We are just 9 days. We're in single digits from training camp for the Carolina Panthers. We hit our Panthers question of the day. Coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with zero payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
Hey, Joe Fortenbaugh here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Young, out of the pocket, on the move. Young's going to run for it, and then some. Touchdown, Panthers! Monster day for Bryce Young.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So, there is an issue I have with one of the conversations, and it's my own fault, really, with one of the conversations we had earlier today about Bryce Young. Bryce Young is not in the top 18 quarterbacks in the league, and we don't know if he's 19 or 27 or beyond because the list only went to 18. On the anonymous poll of NFL executives, coaches, and scouts that ESPN handled, they voted on a top 10, then there was an honorable mention, then there was also receiving votes, 18 quarterbacks in total. Bryce Young's not one of them. And earlier today, I talked about why. And why I agreed with it, and why I don't think he deserves at the moment to be considered a top half of the league quarterback or a top 18 quarterback or maybe even a top 20 quarterback. But the issue I have is I try to be a solutions guy as much as I'm a problems guy. I don't like just bringing up negative and just leaving it out there, right? You got to put the punchline on the joke, right? You need to finish the cycle. So the next question becomes, all right, if he's not in the top 20 or not in the top 18 or he's not a top half of the league quarterback right now, what does he have to do to get there? Well, let's ask this question. Statistically speaking, what does a successful season look like for Bryce Young? We are 9 days to training camp, right? A week from this Wednesday is when training camp opens for the Carolina Panthers. We ask one question a day about the Panthers. Let's lock in on statistical milestones that Bryce Young can chase. Statistically. And the reason why I'm putting statistics out there is because that's hard and fast, right? That's go, no go, pass, fail. You know the number. If we talk theoretically, we can say things like, well, I want him to, be a better leader. And then at the end of the year, I can just decide whether I want to call him a better leader or not, right? That's subjective. If I put numbers out here, there's no hiding from it, right? If I like the guy, which I do, I think he's a nice kid or nice man. I don't know why I call him a kid. He's not that young. I think he's a nice person. Seems like it, right? Handles himself well. I like him. If he falls short of these numbers I'm about to give you, I can't fudge it, right? I can't turn it around. I can't go, well, actually, he did play well. So here's the deal. For Bryce Young to have a successful season in my eyes, here are the numbers. 3,500 passing yards or more. 22 or more passing touchdowns. 8 or less interceptions. 8 or fewer. I don't know if that's proper grammar there. 3,500 passing yards, 22 or more passing touchdowns, and 8 or fewer interceptions. That's what I'm looking for. Last year, 2,400, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But obviously, that's held back by a benching, and he was much better post-benching. So, right, the 9 interceptions I think can realistically be lowered a bunch, especially if you take out those 2 catastrophic games earlier on in the season. Now that's an improvement, right? But here's the way I reached these numbers, right? I didn't just grab numbers out of thin air and say, I'll say these on the radio. Although, some of you may think that's what I do. I actually put more thought into that. So what I did was I thought about it, right? All right, top 18. He's not in the top 18. I think for him to be successful next year, he should at least be receiving votes, right? He should at least be in that mix. All right, well, top 18, that's roughly top half. Top 16 would be top half, right? So I went and I looked at the last couple of years and I did some quick calculations. 3,500 passing yards, 22 or more passing touchdowns, and 8 or fewer interceptions, essentially, kind of on average, makes you a top half of the league passer. Top half. That's why I don't think I'm being crazy here. I don't think I'm way over asking. I'm just saying I want Bryce in year 3 as a number 1 overall pick that was just given a shiny new toy at wide receiver. In order for me to look at his 3rd year in the league and say that was a good year for Bryce, I think he should be a top half passer. If he's the 15th best passer in the league, I think it's good. Pass. If he's top 10, great, right? Then A+, do whatever you want. But if he's below that, I reserve the right to say, if it's not happening fast enough yet, if it's not happened fast enough now, it's time to start asking questions. Matter of fact, it's already time to start asking questions. It's time to get real serious about the answers to those questions, and you might not like the answers. Now, I want to be clear on this as well. I'm being clear on clearing a lot of things up. If you are at home and you're listening to this, or you're in your car and you're listening to this, and you're hearing my statistics that I just gave you, and you're saying or thinking to yourself, only statistic that matters is wins. Nonsense. First of all, and what the reason why I say that, the reason why I say it's nonsense is if he plays poorly, if he does not play well, Chuba Hubbard's running all over everybody though, and the defense is playing well, and you're winning a decent amount of games, you win 8-9 games next year, that's not enough for Bryce Young, right? You have to truly be able to evaluate individuals apart from team success. And I'll even tell a personal story on this one, and it's not as selfish as you think it is. So I played football at University of Delaware. I know most of you know that, but for those of you that don't, played quarterback. And I had a win in a rivalry game where I threw, I think it was like 60 yards or something. It was snowing a little bit. Our All-American running back had it going, and we had a special teams touchdown or two. I did run for a good amount of yards, and I ran for a touchdown just for my own ego. I want to say that. But I threw for like 60 yards or 70 yards. I don't even remember. It was nothing. After that game, I definitely, in watching film and evaluating myself, did not feel very good. Even though we won the game. We won against a rival, and they were a nationally ranked team, and we were a nationally ranked team, and it was a big win for our program, and it was exciting, and everybody was celebrating. I did not feel good about it. And then there were probably games where we lost that, I had to put on the sour face in the postgame, but I knew I played pretty well. And when you're evaluating yourself, it's a different, I might have gotten an A. Team might have gotten a D. That's not a selfish way of looking at things. It's a realistic way of looking at things. In order for Bryce Young to have a B or better season, he's got to put up good individual numbers, regardless of the outcome of the season. Joe Burrow had a great season last year. Didn't even make the playoffs. I'm not walking around going, what a bad season by Joe Burrow. No, it was the defense that was the issue. Meanwhile, a lot of times there's been bad quarterback, like Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Not saying he was bad, but, the fact that we're this many years later and we still use that as the example of, you can be a not great quarterback and win a Super Bowl probably says everything you need to know. So statistically, and by the way, this is barring injury, right? If he gets hurt and misses 6 games, we could prorate it down, okay? You take the averages and you subtract 6. But if he is on pace for, in the games that he is healthy for, 3,500 or more passing yards, 22 or more passing touchdowns, and 8 or fewer interceptions, I will be here talking into a microphone saying, good season, Bryce. If he is less than that, don't let me say good season, Bryce. Or at least make me explain why I'm giving him a good season despite not reaching the thresholds that I set. And it's good to say this kind of stuff out loud. If you disagree with me, that's fine. If you're listening and saying I'm being too aggressive, he doesn't have to be that good, or maybe you think I'm being too soft on him and he needs to throw for 4,000 yards. Whatever it is, just write it down, timestamp it, put it somewhere, because it does kind of lock you in, right? It prevents you from getting lost in the narratives and the shuffle and everything else. So I've set my statistics for Bryce. Maybe we'll do this for a couple different guys on statistically, what does a successful season look like? That way we can't run from our expectations later on in the season. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That right there is a sign of I've done 6 hours of radio today. Filled in for Adam Gold earlier today. Obviously host of this show most weekdays 3 to 6. So those of you that have been around for a bulk of the afternoon, thank you. You are the real MVPs, and I appreciate you joining me. In honor of me thanking you for being so awesome, I want to help you win your weight and meat. Starting last week, we've been qualifying finalists for our Win Your Weight and Meat competition, and there are 4 more chances to become a finalist. What you have to do is text in BEEF, B-E-E-F, to 919-860-5326 right now and every weekday. You can get a new entry every weekday. That's kind of new information here. So if you've already texted in the past, text in again today. BEEF, and every day. You get 1 a day. To text BEEF, the keyword, to 919-860-5326, and then have your phone on where you can hear it. So you answer at 4 o'clock every weekday this week. Answer the phone, jump on air, tell us your weight, and you will be a finalist. One of our 10 finalists will be randomly selected to win their weight and meat. Brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Graham, thank you very much for keeping us up and running. Are you producing the show tomorrow? All right. We have the same producer in back-to-back days. Graham will be back with us tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Another show tomorrow at 3. Until then, have a great night, and please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Tell your friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.